Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and welcome to Nerd Tube. And the world has gone insane. I'm your host for today because even though it's not my show, it is my channel, and this shit needs to fucking keep going on, regardless of the person who owns this particular show hardly ever fucking showing up. So I'm gonna keep this shit going, and you can thank me for that because without me, nothing's gonna go on in. All right, I'm here with Christine. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good considering the day I had, but I'm here and that makes me happy.
Let me hear your day. How was your day today?
Uh, Long story short, manipulative narcissist has put her claws into my tenant downstairs. My tenant is now missing and she's come begging and crawling back to get into the house and wants my help finding him when I know for a fact he's just trying to get away from her.
Wow, that sounds crazy. So so
But
so your tenant is trying to get away from his partner, and
yeah,
she thinks she's missing. Any
yeah.
chance that he could be missing? Any remotely chance?
The strange thing is, if he can't get in touch with them, he's either out in the woods escaping from her for the mental well-being of it, or he's in jail because of
He's
his
in
mental
jail.
illness. He can act a little strange, and people will call the cops on him. And cops not having the intelligence or know anything about that sort of thing sometimes bring him to the hospital, which they should, and sometimes they do not. There was one time he went missing, and I went to the OPP station to do a missing persons on him, and they're like, he's not missing. But they can't tell you he's in jail, right? They're just like, he's not missing.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
I get yeah.
okay, when is he when is he going to come home from not being missing? And they
It,
told me,
hello, Rick B, by the way. But is the wink wink not missing? Is that yeah, he really is missing? But you know what? Mum's the word. We're never going to tell anyone, tell anybody about it.
well, he's not buried on my property, if that's what you mean. But
Well, I mean, buried somewhere.
no, I don't think he's missing. I think he's conveniently not with her.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, regarding my particular week, any standouts? I mentioned to you before we started today that I mowed my lawn for the first time this year. I'm very happy about that, and I did my first barbecue of 2024 as well. And prior to doing that barbecue, I had to clean the fuck out of my barbecue because it's been laying dormant for several months, full of bacteria and mold during the winter months. So I had to clean the fuck out of it, and I was very happy that I did because it's good to go now. And yeah, I
It's
had
too
a nice.
bad. It's too bad you didn't notice well in advance because you could have turned it on in the morning for an hour and really cleansed it, let it cool off, and then cleaned it with a solvent.
Yeah, well, what I did is I cleaned it initially with with disinfectant and stuff like that, and that was one way of cleaning it and everything, the grills and everything. Then I put the fire on, and then I let it because it's a bullet smoker and it's got a lid on it and everything. I cleaned the lid. I mean, I cleaned every aspect of it, and so because of that, I then ended up just letting it clean with the heat, with the fire, and all of
Yeah,
that, and just disinfect it that way. So I cleaned it with disinfectant, and then and then I let it disinfect itself with the heat as well. But obviously, I didn't want to start cooking my food with all that fucking disinfectant still maybe smearing and marking the
yeah.
innards of my barbecue. I didn't want that to get into the meat. So Rick B
It,
says, sorry, I locked my car in I locked my car key in the boot today. Can't open it. Windows wide open. Have to get a new key from Porsche, and it's £400. How can you lock your?
like you have a Porsche.
No, but no, but the point
Humble
is that I
brag.
thought no, but like I thought cars were designed in a way that you can never lock your key, like especially modern cars, like a Porsche, unless it's an old school Porsche. That you couldn't lock your keys in the car anymore because if I leave my keys in the car won't lock. It's just because
Yeah,
it knows the keys are in the car. Yeah, so
and the back seat doesn't the back seat come down so you can crawl in your trunk in some cars?
yeah, I guess it is a Porsche though, so you never know. So those cars are awkward. Daniel
it
Vance
is.
says, so someone's missing and Zam is having a barbie. Cannibalism, final answer. Yeah, yeah, you're telling me. Yeah, a bit of human
That'd be
flesh.
a long. That would be a long way to send that type of thing for him just to eat it because I'm in Canada. But it's a hard thing to get a hold of, that kind of meat.
Okay, so we got a decent yeah, things to talk about today. And the first thing we're going to talk about is probably something that made the news just recently for us. We just found out about this today. One more thing from Rick B. It's an older Porsche. You can't get to the boot. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I get you. Okay, so your best mate, Rick B, Candace Owens, has been fired from the Daily Wire. This is absolutely crazy. So I'm going to read this article from Yes, I'm happy, I guess. This is from the Guardian.
Okay.
Far right commentator.
I've lost you. Hello. I don't know where he's gone, but now that we're alone, let's talk about you. But unfortunately, I can't see the comments, so it's going to be a one-way street. Hi, my name's Christine. I'm waiting for Zam to come back. Just got a text from the sketchy bitch from downstairs. Oh, I'm going to ignore her. But if you've been listening from the beginning, I've been having some trouble. My longtime friend since the age of 18 and army buddy of mine has a narcissist in his life, and that kind of sucks. So I'm going to pop out for a second and just see what Zam's doing, and hopefully we'll be back in a second. Stay tuned. Bye.
Okay, I don't know what happened there. I don't know what happened there. I'm really sorry. I had no idea where I was. Let me see if I can get Chris back. 1 second. Sorry. God damn it. It said it was out of memory. Okay, fair enough. I'm back. I had no idea what the fuck happened there. I'm gonna take this over here. Oh no, that's the wrong one.
See or hear you.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
it's coming
back.
up.
I'm back, but for some
I see
reason,
you.
there's two of me. There's two of me for some fucking reason.
Not anymore. Not at this end.
I'm trying to get
And
rid of the version of me. Give me a second. Give me a second.
we're live, by the way.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I apologize for the technical difficulties. Okay, why am I? Okay, we're good. We're good. All right. Goddamn StreamYard, you're never supposed to be so shit. Yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna keep going. Can you hear me still?
Yeah.
Okay, so where was
Candace
I?
Owens.
Okay, so the far right commentator Candace Owens left the Daily Wire website and amid tensions over alleged anti-Semitism in opposition to. Oh, sorry, I've already read that bit. I'll read it from here. In her own post, Owens, who hosted a commentary show for the site, said, "The rumors are true. I am finally free." Owens said she would bring her show to YouTube after a brief hiatus. Hamas attacked Israel on 7th October, killing more than 1,100 and taking hostages. Israel airing ground onslaught in response has killed more than 30,000 people. So I'm just making sure I'm still good. 30,000 people and pushed Gaza to the brink of famine. Owens has criticized U.S. support of Israel, but also mused about political Jews and a very small ring of Pacific people are using the fact that they are Jewish to shield themselves from any criticism. Remark Shapiro called absolutely disgraceful. On Monday on social media, Owens liked a post in which a user asked, let me get this name correctly, Shmuley Boatek, a well-known rabbi, if he was drunk on Christian blood again. Holy shit. Owen subsequently came under fire from the Anti-Defamation League, the ADL, which campaigns against anti-Semitism, posted a report by the progressive watchdog Media Matters about remarks in which Nick Fuentes, a Holocaust denier and white supremacist, praised Owens for mouthing a full-fledged war against the Jews. Fuentes, the ADL said, is praising Candace Owens' vitriolic anti-Semitism is hardly surprising, but it does set off alarm bells when bigoted people come together to push an anti-Semitic agenda as fuel to the fire of hate. Okay, this can go on forever, but the point is, by reading all of this alone, you could tell that Ben Shapiro, who supports Israel more than America, doesn't like people speaking up against Israel. This is the same Ben Shapiro who when he sees people doing pro-Palestine marches, calls them pro-Hamas marches. And obviously, even though Candace Owens is absolutely fucked in the head, and the enemy of my enemy is not my friend here, because Candace Owens is no ally of mine, regardless of her opinions. And her opinions are fucked anyway, just by mentioning things like the drinking of Christian blood and shit like that. They've fallen out of favor with each other. It's more to do with, I think, Candace Owens being more anti-Semitic than pro-Palestine, in my opinion.
Or anti-Palestinian,
Palestinian.
pro-Palestinian. Sorry.
Yeah, pro-Palestine, exactly. It's more to do with that. She's obviously hanging around with people like Nick Fuentes. It's absolutely ridiculous when I see black people like her and Kanye West hanging out with a white supremacist who's desperate for fucking clout, who will fucking walk on top of them the moment he gets his opportunity. But they're so fucking stupid. They always feel that they're going to be the tokens who will never get fucked over. But regardless, this relationship's done. And it'll be interesting to see what happens in the future.
They think that if it ever came down to it and there was some sort of segregation or eradication, that they would somehow be kept on as, loyal pets, because of all, them being tokens now and spreading the lies and going, oh no, my buddy's not a fucking racist. I'm black. Look at me. I like him.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's a bit weird with somebody like Kanye West because he's already got millions, hundreds of millions, maybe, in the bank from his music career. Somebody like him is clout. He doesn't need clout. I do think he's fucked in the head. I do, but the funny thing is I never let the fact that people who are fucked in the head, it's like some people almost want to give these people a pass until that fucked up person in the head starts to affect you, and then you start to realize, you know what, I shouldn't give this person a pass because they're fucked in the head, and it's something I can't fucking deal with anymore. And same with yeah.
Right, just like the other day, we were talking with someone about that woman who left her child at home for 10 days while she went on vacation, and was obviously the child died and she was convicted, and someone was like, well, what about her? We didn't support her enough. And we're both like, nah, she don't have any good reason. She is a horrible person and a murderess and deserves jail. Like, no excuse.
Yeah, she could have given the kid to somebody to look after, you know.
Or
But
not
yeah,
gone.
I'm not gone. All of these things, we're coming up with reasons, but the moment you can't do that, then your needs come secondary. And if that means, if your needs is wanting to go on vacation, 100% comes secondary. But yeah, regarding Candace Owens, she is a clout chaser. She was left leaning, by the way, when she first started making a name in social media. Like most left leaning people in social media, like her and like people like Dave Rubin as well. And there's a couple others whose name escapes me. It's easier to be a right wing shill. It is. It's just a lot easier. There's more money to be made. There's more fucking dickheads to exploit. Look at all the dickheads who are still giving people like, Donald Trump lots of fucking money after all the shit the guy bragged consistently about being a billionaire, but nobody gets more money from his fucking chumps like Donald Trump does. Let's get to
And
some comments. Sorry, go on.
his shoes that he sold aren't even being shipped out, if they're even made.
Well, I might have something on this a bit later, but
Okay.
Donald Trump is hosting a fundraiser dinner at Mar-a-Lago or some shit like that, and there are two sort of tables you can join. You can join the big table or the small table. The big table is like $825,000 per person. Yeah,
I thought you would
and this
pay $820.
$825,000 per person, and the small table is like $250,000 per person. Yeah, so
Wow.
yeah,
And there'll be butts in those seats too.
yeah, because the people follow him, and there are like people like Mark Levine who are demanding billionaires bail out Donald Trump. Once again, Donald Trump likes to brag that he's rich and he's a billionaire. Bail yourself out, you know. Um, don't get me
Or
wrong.
if it's
Even for yeah,
and those guys like to throw around like it's so easy if you just work hard, put your nose down. Well, work hard, put your nose down. Show us how you got to be a millionaire and then supposed billionaire.
and don't get me wrong. Even for a billionaire, and without a doubt, 450 million is not chump change. It will, for some billionaires, that's a lot of fucking money to give up. But if you are a billionaire, you can still afford to give up that money because you are a billionaire, not a millionaire or 100 millionaire. You're a billionaire. You can afford to spend that money to get yourself out of a jam. But no, you need to constantly fucking milk your fucking supporters because the grift never stops grifting.
I'll be
Let's get
right
to some
back.
comments. No problem. Rick B says, I just heard about Candace before your show started. I'm not a fan of her at all. She annoys me and usually talks a lot of crap, even though I agree with her on occasions. Well, I hardly agree with her, even. I can't even remember the last time I ever did agree with her. So, yeah. Daniel Vance, wait, can you get drunk on Christian blood? Yes, you can. It's called wine.
Sacrament
And
wine.
yeah. Interested to see who MAGA chooses as the new Speaker of the House now that MTG is ousting Mike Johnson. It'll be fascinating to tell you the truth because that is kind of fascinating because she's publicly ousting him, but I don't think anybody will satisfy MTG unless she becomes the Speaker of the House herself, and then she'll have to basically put the money where her mouth is. The GOP is such a shit show, always has been. But don't get me wrong. I'm no. I, it's weird in a way. If I was an American, I would have no choice but to support the Democrats, but they're not great either. Let's be honest, because the fact that they have a layup to win the fucking presidential election, but they're still making it difficult because they're going up against Donald Trump, who they lost to, so who they beat last time round, and they're making this guy a possible contender to be the president of the United States again. Kind of
And
shows you how fucking stupid the Democrats are.
they said Hillary was a shoo-in too, right? And technically she did win. But we all
Yeah, the
thought
Electoral College. Yeah.
we all thought Trump was a joke, and he is a joke literally, but I don't take it as a joke that he's running again.
Yeah, for sure. And his supporters are all conspiracy theory based. I mean, I've seen one stupid bitch talk about how Biden's dead and is James Wood pretending to be him and stuff like that. Like the reality is just too much of an issue for these motherfuckers. Trump, Ati avoided the question about obtaining funds. Yeah, I saw that. I mean, this is a big issue. Like, if Saudi Arabia or Russia, for instance, bails Trump out, and Trump becomes president of the United States, then his loyalty is to whoever bails him out, not to the American people, like it ever
And I
was. Don't get me wrong.
I guarantee he's like, hey, if you bail me out, I'll give you these things. It's not it's overt with him and getting money. That's how he doesn't care. He thinks
For me,
like when he called Georgia and said, I need this many votes, give them to me.
For me, I would not. I'll be shocked if Russia doesn't bail him out, because if Russia bails him out, that means they will have the American war machine behind them when it comes to finally getting Ukraine, which is the one thing they want the most. Because Donald Trump and Putin, he's Putin's bitch. He'll do whatever Putin wants. Trump has a good chance of winning. Yeah, I think he might win. Unfortunately, Trump selling Ukraine for $500 million. Yeah, for sure. That's what. Yeah. Apparently, breaking news: there was a mass attack at a mall in Moscow. Really? Okay.
I bet that has something to do with the Ukraine.
Possibly. I mean, apparently, Ukraine are now finally attacking Russia, which is fascinating. Oh yeah. It is his highly illogical podcast in the top right corner. So that's pretty cool, isn't it? It's an amalgamation. I just noticed it. Thank you very much, Shito, for that. Love the background graphic. Yeah, I'll quickly show it to you. I found that one online. All right. Let's see what we've got in the old folder of shit I've collected over the last few days regarding this week's show. All right, so on to a different type of topic now. These are some of the things I found on TikTok. I couldn't believe this. Now you're familiar with our prices here in the United Kingdom and how much things are supposed to cost. You can convert things from pounds to dollars, Canadian dollars, that is. Well, this is the Thistle Hotel. Oh, let's get rid of that. This is the Thistle Hotel in Heathrow Airport. And check this out. Can you hear it? I can't hear it either for some reason.
How much are the Stellas?
Okay, let me. I'll bring it up to you in a second. So the Stella's there are £9.99 per bottle. 10 quid a bottle.
That's like $25 Canadian.
That's ridiculous. One fucking bottle. Okay, so as he looks around, innocent orange juice, £5.49 for one bottle of innocent orange juice. £5.49. This is all in the hotel, by the way. How about a bottle of water? £4. £4 for a fucking bottle of water.
There's taps in the bathroom.
I think my bird wants to come out. You want to come out, Sonny? Is that what you want? No, I can't tell. Okay.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I know that hotels are going to be jacking up their prices, but that's well beyond their normal jack up price.
Yep. Okay. So let's keep going here. So maybe you want a snack. How about a snack? It's let me just get a better look at here. $5.99. for a bag of kettle chips.
Oh, you called them chips. Thank you.
Yeah, well, that's the name of the product. So I'm just calling them by what they call themselves, because if you can see right here, lightly salted, and there's the word chips just there.
Well, my screen is so I thought you were going to call them crisps.
No, yeah, they are crisps still, but I'm just the brand is called Kettle Chips. $5.99 for a bag of kettle chips, or maybe something a bit smaller, a bit daintier. Campo, I think this is like some sort of alcoholic drink. £7.49 for this bottle. I'm not too familiar with this particular drink, but somehow £7.49 seems quite steep.
A bottle that size in Canada, if it's an alcohol and not a beer, might cost you $7.
Can of beer. And these are small cans of beer, by the way. They look like the same size as the sort of beer cans you would find, sorry, the same size as a Coca-Cola can.
Yeah.
£5.49.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
And alcohol is expensive here. Not that expensive, but in the States, it's extremely cheaper. You could go to the corner store in the States and probably buy a 6-pack for that price.
Well, Red Bull is £4.29. Red Bull's been continuously getting. I haven't had a Red Bull in years, but they are getting. They always seem to be a bit expensive, but that looks like maybe twice the price it should be.
I've never.
And that is pretty much that. Regarding this, this is the Heathrow Hotel. Sorry, in the Thistle Hotel in Heathrow. Remind me that if I ever go to this hotel, I should be paid for by my work to do so. So anyway, let's read some comments. He won't allow a country like Russia to bail him out because it will be something his opponents can use against him. Also, it will be unpopular in America. Listen, Donald Trump has already just said about the Jews. Any Jews who vote Democrats hate Israel and hate their religion and stuff like that. It doesn't matter what he does. People on the opposition will call him out for these things. That's for sure. But his staunchest supporters, the people on the right, will back him to the fucking hill, and he could do whatever the fuck he wants. He could be anti-Semitic, he can be racist, he can be totally corrupt. The guy's already got indictments and felony charges coming at the wazoo, and they are still backing him. I got stupid family members of mine who follow Trump who tell me, "Oh, Nikki Haley's corrupt and shit." And yeah, she probably is. I'm not doubting that, but then they just totally oblivious to the fact that Donald Trump is going to court every fucking day. Yeah. So, the cult of Trump is ridiculous. They'll follow this guy to the hill. It doesn't fucking matter.
They'll call every politician corrupt because, this happened or this was reported in the news or whatever. And then you point out that Trump has had stuff reported about him and gone to court. And none of that's true or right. It's all lies. Well, you just judged a whole bunch of other politicians, but not your own on the same weight of evidence. So obviously you're a sycophant.
A mass attack. It was not in America's out. I don't know anything about it, so I can't talk about it. What am I going to do? Talk about something I haven't researched on? If somebody could send me a link, and then maybe we could look into it. I'm happy to look into it. We do have attacks in our own country as well, my own country, and I do talk about it. But obviously, Cousin Cheetah, her selective memory always has and always will do. Daniel Vance, I'm going to start a new thread, but I'm going to start a new Betfred in Vegas. Zam will remember to unmute. Bets open. Okay, I'll try to. I thought I unmuted that one, but it's on a different browser, so I have to press another button, and I keep forgetting. That is Stadium Sports. That is Sports Stadium prices. But the thing with Stadium Sport prices, that even though they are expensive, you usually get a decent amount. Like if I'm going to buy a drink, okay, it's going to be expensive, but it's going to be like fucking humongous. Like if I buy popcorn, it's going to be expensive. It's going to be fucking humongous. They're selling regular shit at at those prices. It's absolutely ridiculous.
And they
I
weren't
yeah.
always that price. They've hyperinflated those things. We've always had expensive things at the stadium. They haven't gone up. And we always knew they were expensive. So you didn't have to go in there and then all of a sudden be like, oh, shoot, a beer's $20. No.
Okay, so Daniel, honestly, I expect airport shop prices to be high. They know that you can't bring anything else past the security line, so their prices are nothing. Yeah, but the funny thing is though, like like this is a hotel, so you're not necessarily in that part of the airport where you can where you're flying out somewhere. So you can go elsewhere. You can order and stuff like that, because you're at the hotel. But when you are going into that part of the airport where you're about to get on, where soon you'll be getting on the plane, you're in what we call the duty free area, and duty free means tax free, which means it should be a lot fucking cheaper, and obviously that's not the case even in duty free. Duty free is a rip off too. Um, Oops, thought it was the Heathrow Airport. Oh, fair enough. Okay. I'd rather have Trump than Biden. No, I wouldn't. I mean, as much as I've told many a person, I'll take fucking Biden's corpse over Donald Trump. But if you prefer a convicted rapist over Biden, then that's on you, Rick B. And Vivek Ramaswamy is a fucking weasel. This is the sort of guy who would fucking. I mean, the way he bends over backwards to white supremacy, to be that token, he's like an Indian Uncle Sam. I despise the guy.
Hey, Rick,
He's yeah,
Rick, why would you prefer Donald Trump over Biden? I'm curious.
because he likes rapists. I mean, the
I want to
funny,
see what he says. I want
I
to
mean,
see what.
felony charges through the wazoo and all of that sort of stuff. He's
I
already
know.
Donald Trump. Remember, this is before he became president. He had already been bankrupt 6 times, including a casino. It's not like he's got the best business brain. He lied about saying he wasn't. He lied about saying that he had no time to play golf. He played more golf in his first term than fucking Barack Obama did in 2 terms. Um, he was convicted for the Ponzi scheme of Trump University. Never went to jail for that, the lucky fucker. But that was also a con. These are just a handful of things I can name off the top of my head.
But how does one bankrupt a frigging casino? Like, you're not a businessman or woman if you can bankrupt a frigging casino.
He never was a businessman or woman. He was a
I
guy who
know,
wanted the spotlight.
but he says he is, and his followers think he is. And a businessman, if you're going to run a country, that's kind of like in the wheelhouse of president's job. So I wouldn't want someone who could bankrupt a casino running a country.
Well, look,
Still don't
as
see
we're
Rick B's answer.
as we're on on Donald Trump and Biden, this is what I found here on the Daily Show.
I mean, Trump has done more
Can you hear that?
than Biden will ever do.
Did you hear that? Yeah. Okay. Start again.
I mean, Trump has done more than Biden will ever do. And that's the other side of it. He should be in jail, him and his kid, for treason. I mean, they've taken money from other countries who we're not really in favor of.
It's insane. The fact that like you can have a member of your family get billions of dollars from Saudi Arabia is nuts.
Yeah.
Right?
They did nothing but a big cover up.
So you think for all of that money that Ivanka and Jared got?
No.
Nope. Wait, who are you talking about?
I'm talking about Biden with his kid.
Oh, not the Jared and Ivanka money from Saudi Arabia.
No.
Does that bother you?
No.
Right.
I mean, Trump is.
All right. That's all you need to fucking know is hypocrisy. I mean, this regarding Joe Biden. By the way, there was this one particular politician who put the Republicans to the sword, saying, "Let's go and impeach Biden," but they didn't want to impeach Biden because then the sham of wanting to impeach Biden would be put to the test. they want to keep talking about it the same way they want to keep talking about immigration, but not really do anything about it. Because if they do something about it, then they've got nothing to fucking to campaign on.
It's hilarious. That comedian, I love how he does his stuff because that's just one example. He'll go in and he'll switch it up. He'll give an example of what Trump's kids have done, and he'll lead them on to believe that it's actually Biden and Hunter, and they'll be like all against it. And then he's like, "Oh wait, I'm sorry, I'm talking about one of Trump's kids," or they totally glaze. They hate China. Oh, but didn't what's her face there get like 100 patents in China to sell her shit there? Trump's daughter, Ivanka.
Yeah.
No, whatever.
Ivanka. Yeah, Ivanka. The one he wants to shag and lust over.
Yeah.
Rick B, with the rise of Putin in China, we need a strong leader in the West. I'm not saying he will be the best president ever, but listen, the guy, when it came to his own intelligence agency finding shit on Putin, he said fuck you to those guys and said, you know what, Putin said there isn't, and I don't know why I would disagree with him. I think he's saying the truth. He totally went over the head of his of his own agencies and back Putin. There's nothing strong about him in any case. And once again, he's a convicted rapist and a fraudster.
He outright knew about the hits on the American soldiers. Didn't care about that Putin put out. Ignored his own intelligence agencies and decided, because he had lunch and dinner with a man a couple times, that he's cool, he's all good. Like, that's the kind of man you want running your country? Well, I've got some land in Florida I want to sell you. It might be swampland. It might be swampland.
Also, in any case, he'll be much better than any Democratic politician currently elected. But he is in
any. So every single Democratic elected officials in your entire country, and you have decided, because you know everything about them, that Trump's better than them. Bullshit.
So a convicted rapist and fraudster who is currently under investigation as we speak is better than any Democrat. All right, fair enough.
What about AOC?
Okay.
She's better.
Yeah, she's much better. I mean, she's not perfect, far from it.
Elizabeth Warren, better.
Anyway, I forgot to press this button because I should have pressed it earlier, but it's time
They took our jabs!
They took your jab! They took your jab! They took your jab!
Right, so let's get rid of this comment here. My camera's gone. 1 second.
Yep.
There we go. All right, so the next thing is we're talking about Trump. All right, here we go.
Hi, I'm Jerry Mander, and I'm running for Congress in the great state of Georgia. I believe that school shootings are God's way of saying that learning is a sin. No, my kids will not be wearing a mask. I need to see the look on their face when I tell them their gay uncle is going to spend an eternity in hell. The Democrats want to shut down the economy and turn Santa into a Puerto Rican. I don't believe in taxes, unless they're for war, in which case I like to refer to them as Daddy's little missile coupons. I represent what I like to call the real America. In the real America, when we roll up our sleeves, it ain't to fist someone. I believe in a woman's right to choose which Pioneer Woman cookbook I'm getting her for Christmas. That's right, I don't believe in abortion. I believe that life begins the moment a man says, "I'm sorry, this usually never happens to me." Here's a little statistic that the fact surgeons on the loony left won't tell you. 100% of abortions could have been prevented if the fetus had a gun. Yeah, call me old-fashioned, but I believe in three things: freedom, liberty, and that November is truck month. The Democrats want to take your hard-earned money and use it to sew titties on your papaw. Well, not on my watch. I'm Jerry Mander, and I approve this message.
He's funny.
Hi.
Yeah, that was a good bit of mockumentary there. Anyway, Daniel Vaughn said, "Did you hear that Barron Trump is open game now? The pearl clutching and crocodile tears on the right over it. Barron Trump is open game now. Like, what do you mean? Like, he's 18, so he can take the piss out. I mean, and by the way, Trump was making fun of Nikki Haley because her husband is never around with her." And I think it's because he's deployed. He's a military guy, so he's deployed elsewhere. But this is the thing with Donald Trump. You don't throw, if you live in a glass house, you don't throw stones or bricks or however the phrase goes, because Melania Trump is never around Donald Trump, his own wife. She wants nothing to fucking do with him. You can tell. She doesn't love him.
She slaps his hand away from her when he tries to hold it.
Yeah. But
Hilarious.
recently he's not around her at all. So okay, so this one's for this one. Oh my goodness, this one is for Ginger Green.
Elon being done this week.
All right.
I like this section of our show.
Hello, Soprano. How you doing? We'll get to some of the other comments in a second. So this is a good. This is as we're going down the comedy route. I've got some more comedy for us. It's really weird with this, but with TikTok, some things it will let me expand, some things it won't. But here we go.
Elon Musk, he doesn't cook. Bezos, he's not doing laundry. Zuckerberg, he's not mowing his own lawn. All these guys, they outsource this stuff. I do the same. Now I have a guy that comes in to sleep with my wife because I don't have the time to be distracted from anything which isn't growing revenue.
Now, doesn't that make you a cuck?
No, that's just good business. Anything which isn't making you profit is distracting you from how you level up.
Right.
Elon Musk.
I love it. Now, I'm on TikTok quite a lot, and you have all these fucking videos of all these fucking dude bros telling you about how I do this and that. I wake up at 4 a.m, I do 30 minutes of exercise, and then I go for a jog, and then I have my breakfast pre-made, so I'm already eating food, so I could go straight to the office and do my work and not have any distractions, yada yada yada. That sort of shit, and that's why they're so successful. And this is obviously a rip on that, but because I'm so busy, I got somebody to sleep with my fucking wife. Oh my god!
Yeah, it was fun.
That was absolutely fantastic. I'm not a Republican lover. I was a fan of Obama and Clinton. What happened? Did you fall over and hit your head afterwards? That's why you voted for Trump, because they are polar opposites, dude. Elizabeth Warren would suck. I still think she'd be better than Donald Trump. And it would be nice to have a woman in charge for once. A Soprano, war in the Middle East, war in Ukraine. A rich orangutan in the suit is begging for money, and the Princess of Canada said, "Damn, the right world's gone insane." Yeah. I only heard about that today as well regarding Kate Middleton having cancer. I hate to say it, I don't give a fuck. Her having cancer. Everyone else will be concerned, as we're going to talk about her right now. A lot of people are super concerned about her, but I don't give a shit. I don't feel any sorrow, sympathy, empathy, nothing.
I don't feel any more than I would for anyone else. And what pisses me off is that the world's gone mad because it's her.
Yep, exactly.
And I gotta pee. Entertain the masses.
Okay, so hopefully when you get back, we'll talk about this Don Lemon, and I'll bring it up now. But I'll show you the clip when you get back.
Give me 2 minutes.
No
Not
problem.
even.
So Lucas Bias, love how Elon destroyed Don Lemon. Please, oh my god, this is so stupid. Elon Musk looked like a fucking weak dickhead. Your boy, like I don't want Mr. Free Speech unless it's free speech for white supremacists. But anyone who comes after me, no free speech. And he wasn't even coming after him. He was just asking him questions, tough questions, and he wanted to conclude the interview. He goes, "Be careful what you say next," like proper intimidating him. Fucking Elon Musk has had people killed before. Daniel Vines, or how Don Lemon showed Elon the mirror, and his reflection scared him. Definitely. Before I get on to your comment, let's have a quick look at some Don Lemon, Elon Musk. Let's find something. Don Lemon, Elon Musk interview. Just a snippet. I just want a snippet. I don't want the whole fucking thing. Let's see. We've got highlights. Here we go. Highlights. Let's have a look. So I'm just going through some clips here. So let me just check this one. I'm just checking some stuff out, guys. 1 second. Maybe I'll go with this one. Maybe I'll go with CNN. I'm just checking out. You back?
Yeah, I'm just getting to lie down because my back's sore. Trying to get into a good position. Yeah, what's up? Go ahead.
Okay, I don't know if this is any good. Let's find. I found this clip here. All right, we'll see how this goes.
You're conflating two things. One's great replacement theory. The other is, which I don't subscribe to that. I'm simply saying that there is an incentive here. If legal immigrants, which I think have a very strong bias to, at least everything I've read, it's a very strong bias to vote Democrat. The more
very quickly, illegal immigrants can't even vote. So this guy needs to, this guy is saying something that is impossible to happen. Illegal immigrants can't fucking vote.
Yeah, but
Rick B, this is your guy.
And you're right. And at the same time, I'm sure that people aren't even hearing the illegal part because they think all immigrants are illegal, the racist people. So they just don't want anyone to vote that's brown skin.
Yep.
The more that come into the country, the more they're likely to vote in that direction. But it is, in my view.
By the way, just sorry for pausing again. This is what pisses me off because Don Lemon should have immediately challenged him on that, and he doesn't.
Well, isn't he another ass kicker?
No, he does. The funny thing is that it's a bit like there was an interview with Bibi Netanyahu also on CNN, and this like this interview and the Bibi Netanyahu interview on CNN, they were softball interviews. But regardless, even though they were softball interviews, you would have thought they were fucking intense, interviews because the people like Elon Musk and Netanyahu probably had their asses brown nosed beyond belief, weren't used to even the minutest bit of pushback, and they can't handle it.
I'm sure they had the questions sent to them, and they had to approve them.
Well, maybe, but regardless, they were asked on the spot live on TV, and that's when you see them falling apart.
Voters, Democrat voters.
So you can see there, Jim, he rejects the name of the theory that he effectively then describes and gives a lot of credence to. Of course, that's worrisome to experts who point out that this theory
What the fuck?
can and has led reaction.
I have to say, choose your question carefully. There's 5 minutes left.
Okay, but so
Is this the question you want to ask?
the same question is you said that they are killing the company, but you're the head of the company. The buck doesn't stop with you.
Oops.
I acquired X in order to preserve freedom of speech in America, the First Amendment. And I'm going to stick to that. And if that means making less money, so be it.
Why would that question upset you? You seem upset by it, are you?
I think you.
And I'm not trying to upset you.
Well, you are upsetting me because the way you're phrasing the questions, I think, is not cogent.
You can see there he's obviously very upset, probably not liking being confronted by some of these difficult questions, Jim.
They weren't even difficult. They weren't even difficult.
Straightforward.
They weren't even difficult. Unfortunately, I can't, without having to go through the whole interview and dissect it bit by bit. You know, it would be very difficult to show you how fucking stupid Elon Musk looked. But you know,
No, that was enough. I got it. He's stupid there for sure. Because you're making these questions difficult and phrasing them. No, he's just asking a very simple question that you don't want to answer at all. You know?
Okay, well,
I'm gonna give myself a thumbs up for that.
Yes, please do. Soprano says Princess Middleton is most likely won't wait for an operation, unlike the rest of us who has cancer. Yeah, of course she'll go. I mean, she's got private healthcare, dude, on the public option, which is even more amazing. Like Donald Trump had when he got fucking COVID. I'm a centrist. I'll go whatever. Centrist, my ass. I'm not a royalist at all, but always said when yeah, but if somebody told me that so and so from over there across the street has got cancer, I'll say, oh, that's too bad, and then I would immediately move on with my life because I don't fucking know these people. Kate Middleton, I don't fucking know her. I don't fucking care for her. I don't give a shit about her. It's sad, I guess, to that extent that somebody's going to die of cancer, but I just don't care. I really wish I did to a degree, but I don't. So,
and like you said, she has the best doctors, no cost. She is the best chance out of everyone in the world. Why? Why does she deserve that? Why does she get that? I mean, yes, it's sad that anyone has cancer, but I don't know her. I feel sad for a second. Like you said, move on with your life. But to keep this in the news and be like, oh, boo-hoo. No, not boo-hoo her. She's got the best setup to success right now.
Yeah, there's a reason why royal family members live forever. Yeah, it's because they got it made. And I give a shit more about the fucking homeless person than I do give a fuck about Kate Middleton or Kate Windsor, as she's now known, I guess. Sorry, I almost deleted this comment. Elon's face and ears getting red when asked tough questions. Yeah, and that prepubescent mustache of his, can't stand it. Yeah, you found his tell. Don Lemon was asking stupid questions. He said, well, look, Elon Musk bans people all the fucking time on his platform. You know, he's not for freedom of speech. He just likes the fact that white supremacists can say they're terrible shit because he himself is a white supremacist.
And anti-Semitic.
Yep. Elon's version of free speech is running into a crowded theater and screaming fire with no accountability. Well said, Daniel Vance. Don also wanted a free. Yeah, he did. I mean, he wanted. You know, he's not doing this shit for free.
So you got to read the whole thing because I can't.
Okay, sorry. Don also wanted a free Cybertruck. It's not free because he's doing an interview. He's getting paid $8 million. Okay, but he's getting paid. A stake in X because he's getting paid, and a £50 million advertising budget completely. It's not. Well, look, when you're talking to the richest or second richest man in the world, that shit is beyond reasonable. And regardless, because Don Lemon didn't even put his feet to the fire, like maybe I don't know. I can't even come close to what could be being burnt. Maybe blew some smoke at him. All of a sudden the whole project gets thrown in the can.
I can think of a couple questions I'd be asking him, like, what on earth possessed you to put a car on a rocket and send it to space when all that money could have either gone to research on that rocket or gone to people that actually need it to survive, to live? What on earth possessed you to spend an exorbitant amount of money on a axe that was drowning to begin with? And why haven't you pulled it out, if you're such a genius, out of the red? Second of all, and more, I'd be like, if you're so pro speech, why have you been statistically banning more left wing sites and contributors on X and allowing blatant racism to carry on?
Yeah, I agree.
That's off the top of my head.
Well, for me, just going through this comment here, which Rick B says about this being unreasonable. You're dealing with the richest man in the world, asking for a Cybertruck, 8 million, a stake in X, and 50 million advertising is pocket change to the richest man in the world. Do you think that is unreasonable? He has hundreds of billions of fucking dollars, mate. This is nothing. I don't think you can. Do you know the difference between a million and a billion? They are light years apart. Light years apart. And when you've got hundreds of billions like Elon Musk has, this is nothing. Absolutely.
Those numbers are literally pennies to him.
Yeah. And on top of that, Elon Musk was in that. One of the things I caught in one of the highlights of his interview with Don Lemon was saying how he's such a believer in freedom of speech. He's happy to lose money, but he's not, because this motherfucker charges $8 a month for a blue check mark. So he's full of shit. Don Lemon looks like he just wants to leave, and Daniel Vance responds to him by saying, "To be fair, so does Elon." So it's corporate raid. You're not a paragon of free speech, Musk. Yeah, he isn't. He pretends to be, because he likes people with the worst mindsets to be able to speak their minds. Because people wouldn't put up with anti-Semites and white supremacists in the past. You'd be ousted. Now these motherfuckers are hanging around with the former president of the United States.
And it's not anti-free speech for a private company. After all, you're all like capitalists there. You should agree with this, America. For a private company to not allow certain things in their workplace. So it's not against freedom of speech for a private company to say, we're not allowing these things to happen at our workplace or on our product to occur. So that means they could take down channels.
I want to say that this is where I agree. Don Lemon is a knob. I totally agree with you. But so is Elon Musk, and Don Lemon, like, I have no love for Don Lemon. I think he's a fucking idiot. But regardless, he was throwing softballs at Elon Musk, and Elon Musk couldn't handle it. It's all about the moolah. Yeah.
He didn't just not handle it. He got angry over it. And if he's some sort of genius, first, he should have been able to handle it. And if he knew he couldn't understand or answer the question, he should have been able to at least somehow stumble through it in an eloquent way and made us believe that that was a good answer. Or at the very least, if you're a smart person, you're not going to lose your top over a question you can't answer. You're just going to be like, oh, I can't answer it. And if you have self-confidence, like he says he does, like he's the alpha male, it's not an offense to your ego to not know something.
It's a similar with Musk, because unfortunately he's the sort of person who surrounds himself with yes men and ass kissers. So when he does get challenged, it's like, whoa, this is new. I'm gonna read a couple more comments, and I'll get back to the comments. I'll get back to the comments a bit later. Let's talk about something really deep now. This one's disturbing because, as you all know, there's a lot of light shed on Nickelodeon regarding oh god, I need to remind myself 1 second. I got a clip here, but there was this Nickelodeon documentary, and it was to do with one of the producers of Nickelodeon at that particular time. I forgot his name. Let's read this. Let me quickly read this quick. But I'm going to show you a clip later. It's quite fucked, and it's a little bit disturbing. But it's on YouTube, so it's legit. But anyway, in the late 1990s and mid 2000s, Nickelodeon reignited Supreme as premier destination for kids TV. Oh, sorry, not reignited. Reigned supreme as the premier destination for kids TV, churning out one hit show after another, from The Amanda Show, All That, Drake and Josh, Zoe 101. But behind the gags and slapstick comedy, there was something more sinister going on. In the new four-part documentary, Quiet on Set, The Dark Side of Kids TV, former show writers and child actors, including Drake Bell, pulled back the curtain to reveal the toxic underbelly of abuse, harassment, racism, sexism on the set of Nickelodeon shows led by TV exec.
Slow down. You're just rushing through. It's hard to hear you. Please continue.
Led by TV executive Dan Schneider. The investigation Discovery documentary sees former child star Bell come forward regarding his alleged sexual abuse, which he says he suffered age 15 at the hands of Brian Peck, a Nickelodeon dialogue coach. Schneider has since addressed his own regretful behavior on set. The docuseries began airing on the 17th of March and is available to stream. It's an entirety. It's on Discovery Plus and Amazon. And okay, so what I'm about to show you guys is quite. If you can see between the lines, it's not great, and it has Ariana Grande. This clip is from 5 years ago, or it was posted 5 years ago. I only came across it a couple of days ago, but I was watching somebody else on
we've
YouTube.
Lost you for a second there, Zam.
Okay. Yeah, I'm back. Can you see me?
Yeah.
Okay. I was watching somebody else on YouTube, and then because they'll bring up this whole thing about Nickelodeon, they then showed this clip. This is pretty fucked, by the way. I want you guys to know it's just making sure I got it right. Okay.
And by the way, I didn't smoke for a couple days. Then I'm smoking today.
All right, fair enough. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Said something like a sentence and thought to yourself, wow, like I bet nobody else on earth has ever said those exact words that I just said. That happens to me a lot. So now, just for fun, I'm going to say 3 sentences that I bet not one person has ever said before in the history of mankind. Sentence number 1. Oh man, my uvula got stuck between that hamster's toes.
The what?
See? That could never happen because your uvula is that swingy thing in the back of your throat right here. So there's no way you could get it stuck between a hamster's toes. Sentence number 3. I'm soaking wet! Quick, somebody bring me the ocean! No one would ever say that. Why? Because if you were soaking wet and you were upset about it, the last thing you'd want is for somebody to bring you the ocean. Because the ocean is even more wet than even the wettest person in the world. Have you ever tried to get your whole big toe in your mouth? Check this out.
By the way, this is kind of mild right now. It's going to get a lot worse.
Sometimes I wonder if you can get juice from a potato.
I mean, seriously. Seriously, what the fuck is that, man?
Is it possible?
Is this AI?
Drink
No.
water upside down. I'm thirsty.
Please. What the fuck?
Not possible. This has been me in a video.
This is Nickelodeon, by the way.
Come on, give up the juice.
Oh,
Imagine what life would be like with hippopotamus teeth.
yeah. That's the last thing we see.
Yeah, I think someone was like, what can I get them to say that's very sexy and or do that's very sexual to me as a grown man without them saying, oh, that was done on purpose. And that's what they came up with, and they did a pretty good job because that was blatant to me anyway.
Blatant as fuck. That was a young Ariana Grande. I had no idea because I obviously I don't watch kids television anymore in that particular sense, but this is the sort of shit they were doing. I mean, she's in her bedroom and stuff. Even watching it, watching that thing for a second time, I noticed that she had that green pickle thing. I mean, which is kind of suggestive as well. This long green thing too. Like, Jesus Christ, like
at one point she was in a silk nightie top, not pajamas like a child,
and squeezing the juice out of a potato. That was. And all of that, and why trying to drink the bottle of water upside down? Oh my God! Like, yeah,
and she probably started off that potato bit with, "I bet you can't squeeze juice out of a potato," and they're like, "No, be more animated, like scream and open your mouth, like ah!" And then she's got like 2 hands over a phallus.
Now you give a potato to somebody like Mark Henry and tell him to squeeze the juice out of it. There's a good chance he could because he's the one. He was one point the world's strongest man. But you're asking a teenage girl, this is suggestive beyond belief. It is. It's a joke when you look, and this is more recent as well because a while back we showed a clip of like a 70s game show with kids and how the host was really being creepy and pervy to the kids, asking the kids for a kiss and stuff like that. And being and how the audience was so oblivious to all of this shit. But you watch it now and you can see it for what it is. No in between the lines, nothing. Straight out pedophilia. And then you see this shit, which is more recent, with somebody who's still with us today, who's still a young person today in Ariana Grande, and people were probably oblivious then, but you see it now. It's so in your fucking face. It's crazy. It's crazy.
And that's grooming because that would be like the first level of, acceptable behavior. And then if they had questions about it, they would gaslight that girl or boy, whatever, say, "Oh, what do you mean that you're just playing and pretending with a potato? Like, what do you mean? Why are you upset? It's just normal." And then they would up it a bit and they would up it a bit. And behind the scenes, it would carry on. And when they were alone, it would get more and more suggestive to the point where they've just groomed them to they're doing acts on them. And
Yeah, I agree. Let's get to some comments, shall we? So where we left off was with Rick B saying he's a centrist. He gets on with the left and right. He might do, but you're no centrist, dude. Yes, he is. I'm still betting the doctored photo was hiding her for port and pole.
IV ports and pole.
Oh, I looked at it as number 4 in Roman numerals. Yeah, for IV. Yeah, okay, IV port, I guess. Rick B, I give a fuck about everyone. Yeah, if you do, you wouldn't be supporting Donald Trump, the guy who doesn't give a fuck about everyone. This is the guy who wanted to kill his own vice president for not fucking stealing the election for him. Yeah, of course you love Elon. Car in space was cool, but we need he's supposed this whole SpaceX thing. It's just not going anywhere, is it? I mean,
yeah, it was cool for all those starving children to look up at and go, I could have had dinner and breakfast today, but
you have all that money, you have a responsibility of making the world a better place, but he doesn't want to do that. It doesn't matter how rich Elon is, what Don wanted is unreasonable and not worth what he was asking for. It was a drop in the ocean, mate. It wasn't unreasonable. And considering Elon Musk is trying to elevate himself, once again, it still wasn't unreasonable. Don Lemon was getting paid millions at CNN. This was something probably in his pay range.
And he was, I guarantee Elon had to say those questions are acceptable beforehand. I guarantee he paid out all that money so he could look good on TV, and he still couldn't answer the pre-approved questions that he could have gone over with his assistants, or even as a reasonable person thought about them before going on TV. And he wanted to pay someone to be a lapdog, and that's what happened.
And by the way, he did actually offer that to Don Lemon, but he still fired him afterwards. Elon agreed to the interview, then cancelled the agreement, so it wasn't unreasonable to Elon. Yeah, exactly as I said, Daniel Vance, exactly. On a side note, where is Ginger Greek? Well, unfortunately, Ginger Greek is not feeling well, and so I'm running the show today.
No, I am.
And yeah, and so is Chris. We are running the show today.
Special.
Oh yes, you're always special. So this is, I think now as we were showing that clip of Ariana Grande, we start getting into this. Yes, let me guess, pedophilia, very suggestive. Yes, it was. Nickelodeon, not Disney. They also have sexualized preteen crap. Yeah, I agree. I remember that.
Doesn't mean Nickelodeon has a right to be too, right?
Yeah. I also agree with that too. That actually makes more sense what Christine said. She was also wearing a flower head, which made her look like a Statue of Liberty. I didn't see that connection. But the fact that they had her in a bedroom and all of that sort of stuff is beyond suggestive.
And I think men are going to be careful and go, I don't want to even say that I see these things because someone might say I'm like that. You're not, guys. But as a woman, I can very outright say, yes, that's what was happening there. I have no fear of being accused. So.
Yep. Craig Cullen, welcome to the stream, mate. Tati Water. I don't know what that means, but fair enough. Have you ever rubbed a cucumber up and down while making a wish? I'm not sure. I might have. Jimmy Savile. Yeah. That was Jimmy Savile territory. I mean, I watched it, by the way. If you ever get to watch the it's on the BBC iPlayer. Let me just remind myself. Coogan Savile. What was the name of the series?
And wasn't Gary Glitter the other one?
Yeah. Gary Glitter. Yeah, he was also a terrible person too. But Gary Glitter. Like he was a rock star, so he wasn't really a children's entertainer, but he had to sing for kids. Whilst Jimmy Savile was a children's entertainer and used that to take advantage of kids. There's a television series called The Reckoning. I'm not sure if I did a review of it or not on the tube. Really good. Steve Coogan is actually more known for being a comedian than anything, but his portrayal of Jimmy Savile is superb, and it's always fascinating when you're watching a show or a drama or a series, a movie where the focus is on the villain. He's the lead character, and that was the case with The Reckoning, which is on BBC iPlayer, where the lead character is Jimmy Savile, played by Steve Coogan, who gives, in my opinion, a Grammy award-winning performance. Fantastic. I don't think it's fair you saying I'm not a centrist. You say you are, but the proof's in the pudding, dude. For you to say something like this doesn't make you a centrist, dude. Like, if you think that somebody who snuggles up to fucking Nazis, that comment he made about Jews just the other day, who wants to fuck his own daughter, who has been convicted of rape and convicted sex offender, and convicted for the Trump University Ponzi scheme, and can't fucking keep a business afloat without making it go bankrupt, is the best option. And yeah, fair enough.
Then you haven't
but
looked.
There's no such thing as a centrist. You're either one way or another, because personally, I've never met a centrist who wasn't right wing.
And not to mention, he's cheated on his pregnant wife with his mistress, and then paid the mistress off, who was a porn star. Nothing against porn stars. I'm just saying, this guy's a hypocrite. He runs on family values. You want that?
You can't. How you're conservative and all of this was getting millions for seeing it, but low ratings. Yeah, exactly. But you're still getting millions. The point is that he asked for the earth, and he got heaven and the earth because he knew he could get that out of somebody like Elon Musk, who is loaded. Get well soon, GG. Yeah, he'll get well soon. He'll just have a wank and he'll be all right next morning. I'm off. Got to get up early for work tomorrow. Take care, Mark. It was nice seeing you, Soprano, and I hope to see you again soon. His performance was fantastic. Honestly, Emmy Award winning. Absolutely fantastic. To see him play this one man sort of mafia guy as well. He was very intimidating. At times, Another House Republican just resigned. Who was that? That's news to me. Leaving the gut with a 1-seat majority. Oh my goodness. But yeah, look, all these opportunities will come towards the Democrat, but the Democrat is the epitome of snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. That's who they are. So
it'd be really smart if one of these Republicans just came out and said, I'm an independent now, while they're still in office, because then both the Republicans, because they're so close, would have to give him stuff or for his area where he ran in order to bring him over to their side for each vote. So he could gain a lot for his constituents by doing that.
Oh, are you still there? You still there?
Yeah.
So I had a little glitch.
I was just saying that if someone from the Republican side, because they're only 1 seat apart, if one or two of them went independent now, they could gain their constituents a lot of things because both sides would want them to vote for them in each bill. So they would get promises to enrich their community that elected them by doing so. That happened here in BC. There was one guy, it was a tie between the left and right up here, conservatives and liberals. And this one guy in BC was in the middle, and he was the deciding vote every time. So he got a shit ton done for his community.
All right. Before we go into this, you don't like Trump, but millions of people do like you. I understand why there's people. Yeah, and there's millions of people who like Biden, but you don't like him. I mean, the argument remains. But let's have a look at some Trump stuff now, because this is the difference between me and Trump supporters. Somebody like Biden, I know, is a fucking dickhead. I'm not a biggest fan of Joe Biden, but unfortunately, he's the best of both evils. It really is. It boils that. Sorry, go on.
Sorry, just to Rick B's comment. Hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people thought slavery was a great idea at one point too. Doesn't make it right.
There's so many terrible things people side with, but it doesn't make it right. There's a lot of people who are fine with homophobia and probably the death of homosexuals. I mean, do they have a right to allow that to proceed? Of course not. But regardless,
I'm just saying it's not an argument. Not an argument of numbers or popularity is not a true argument.
Anyway, for me, my issue with Donald Trump is that his support is cult-like. It doesn't matter what he says or he does, they will follow him off a cliff like fucking lemmings. And in my opinion, when it comes to your politicians, you don't worship them, you hold them accountable. And
they work for us, or they're supposed to.
And this, Rick B, is not that. Let's check this out.
Attached to it of some cult gathering over at Mar-a-Lago.
Can you hear it?
Trump was there, and this is what was happening.
His power over us
stronger yet. And though Dems turn from you, they glance behind. The President of the United States is in our spirits and voice in one combined. The United States is in our mind. The President of America.
Before this guy talks, I'm going to read those lyrics this woman was singing because it's pretty fucked.
When you mute it and read them if you could, because it's kind of crispy.
Okay, fine. We'll do. So the song goes, Trump was there, and this is what's happening. Oh, sorry. His power over us grows stronger yet. And though Dems turn from you, they glance behind. The President of the United States is in their minds.
Horrible writing.
In one combined, the President of the United States is in our mind. He's there, the presidential America.
So they had to rip off Phantom of the Opera.
It must be a cultural
Yeah.
thing. His power over us grows stronger yet. So she's admitting that Trump has them all under a spell, okay? And though Dems turn from you, they glance behind. The President of the United States is in their mind. Do y'all realize we haven't had a normal election since 2012? It's been 12 damn years since we had a normal-ish election. I'm telling y'all, one of these days, we're going to have, like, an insane 15-part docuseries that's going to release on Netflix, and it's going to cover everything from 2016 until, you know, maybe now, in the future, whatever it is. I just hope it ends with Trump being in prison. And y'all already know, when they do release this docuseries or documentary, whatever it is, this clip is going to be in it. So I was on Twitter, and this tweet came across my timeline with a video attached.
Yeah,
to
I
it
watched
of
this
some-
guy. I watched this guy. He's pretty good. He has good stuff. So yeah.
What's
the
his
Phantom
channel
of
so
the-
people can know? If you don't know, that's fine. But
No, I do know. I do
give
know.
him props.
You've caught me on a hot mic right now.
Sorry. Well, I'm just gonna say that was a horrible rendition of the Phantom of the Opera, and it was horrible writing. They didn't even write their own music. Then the words they did use were horrible. The rhyme scheme, horrible. I give it a 1 out of 10 because you couldn't dance to it. And the fact that the message of in itself was the worst part of it, because people believe it and see him as some sort of god.
Yep.
Or dictator. That's how they're treating him, like a dictator.
Now, just so you know, it says follow here because I haven't clicked the follow button for this account. This is my NerdTube account, which I try not to put the political figures on there. We want to keep it more, even though we do talk about politics that we are doing today. Overall, I want to use this account for the entertainment stuff I tried to search for, so I don't want the algorithm to be too mixed. I shared this from my personal account to my NerdTube account, but the guy's name is Ken Ficker, KenThiCcer, also known as Kendrick. But yeah, that's him.
Thanks.
He's pretty good. TikTok's the way forward. You know, it's there's lots of stuff. Rick B, I know Biden has millions of supporters, but I think Biden will be a shit person having power in the same way you think Trump will be. I was
Slow
happy when
down.
Biden beat Trump. Sorry, I apologize. Let's start again. I know Biden has millions of supporters, but I think Biden will be a shit person to have in power in the same way you think Trump will be. I was happy when Biden beat Trump, but he's been absolutely shit. Dude, he brought the infrastructure plan and he helped with student loans and he was better on COVID than Donald Trump was. Unfortunately, when it comes to the Israel-Palestine conflict, he's like every other president would be. He totally supports fucking Israel. And considering under Donald Trump's tenure, he moved the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, which caused a lot of controversy. And he's going to be totally behind Bibi Netanyahu. He'd already said that he would be. He wants to finish the job, so to speak. The Republicans are not going to be any different on Israel, but to a degree, because there's more Democrat voices who are pro-Palestine, you have a better chance of making an impact with Israel under the Democrats. Maybe not this time around, but maybe a president or two than you would be under the Republicans ever.
And Trump won't even hesitate, if he felt like it, to send like warships for Israel to use, and planes and bombs and bullets. Like, he wouldn't even blink. He wouldn't keep it a secret. He'd be like at least Biden is like, oh, I'm gonna try and keep out of this. I'm not gonna outright send ammunition and arms or men to die for, a genocide. Trump would.
And on top of that, like with the right wing, you have two types of right wingers. You have the anti-Semitic ones, and you have the ones who want to follow Israel off a cliff because they believe in Israel for religious purposes. Now, the anti-Semitic ones want nothing to do with Israel, and they won't support Israel, but they are not the majority. And they're people like Nick Fuentes, and those people, in a way, their votes matter, but not their opinions.
Then there's, sorry,
yeah.
I was just gonna say, and there's the religious Republicans that want as many Jews to be in Israel as possible, because according to their book, as soon as that happens, a certain number reach Israel, the rapture will come.
Exactly. They've been waiting for that forever. Fucking idiots. So, yeah. So, all right. So, what else do we have? All right. So, we're going to go on a trip down memory lane here. Oh, I'm not. No one is. Nobody's I think you meant hardline, and you were hairline. Yeah, I'm no fan of them either. Now, this is going to fascinate you guys. One more comment from him. Have you heard the whisper of going to pick outside WWE Raw this week to protest against Vince McMahon? No way. I don't know what to make of that, because I despise the Westboro Baptist Church, but I guess a broken clock could be right twice a day, and they are without that broken clock. That's just crazy. But what's the point of going outside Raw? He's no longer part of the WWE. It makes no sense. You're better off going outside his house.
They just
all right.
make me, the Westboro Baptist Church, they have no power. They just make me laugh. The only thing that I don't laugh about is them protesting outside of clinics or at funerals.
Yep.
I know that they'll be in Philadelphia. Can't wait.
So just to take things in a different direction now. In 1967, the drink driving ban began. And this was just a few days before the law came into effect. And so these are what these people are thinking about it.
I think it's fairly diabolical, because it doesn't take any account, for example, of the pedestrian who's had too much to drink. He could cause an accident, but he doesn't get tested. It's the driver who gets tested, and I think that's unfair.
How many drinks have you had tonight?
3 pints.
3 pints. Well, look, I'm afraid you're not sober anymore.
Oh. Are you driving home tonight?
Yes.
Well, on Monday night, that'll be illegal.
Well,
Do you think you'll still drive home on Monday night?
well, no, not if that's like it.
Well, 3 pints isn't much, is it?
It isn't very much, no.
But do you think you're still, perfectly capable of driving?
Quite capable, yes.
You don't sound very capable.
Well, I should be.
I contend that I'm perfectly fit to drive a car.
But you can't defy the law. It's the law of the land now.
Ah, that may be. It may be the law of the land, but I contend that I'm a fit and proper person to drive a motor car.
Barbara Castle says that the only rule is to not drink at all. Now, you're saying that you can. Why should you be so special?
Well, what does she know about it anyway?
Well, do you know that you're capable of driving?
I'm convinced that I'm capable of driving. I've done this for years now.
I do too. I am. As I say, for many, many years, I've drove with far more looking at me than I have now. And I've driven in Kenya, Uganda, down in South Africa. And as I say, I still feel that I am capable of driving this car home.
So you're going to drive home tonight, and you're not going to change your drinking habits at all?
Certainly not.
All right, let's have a look. You're drunk. You're not capable of driving. Now, what are you going to do about it?
Well, quite honestly, I don't feel drunk. I mean, this is the point.
But this is the law of the land.
Yes,
you
I
cannot
do
drink
realise
and drive anymore over this limit.
I see. Oh, well.
All right. But will you do this when the law becomes in force on Monday?
Well, I wonder whether they'll sort of pick on the people like myself.
But you're drunk.
Oh, God. That's the way it goes.
Well, tell me what you think about this law.
Well, I don't think it's well, no. Basically, it's probably quite a good law because anything to prevent accidents on the road, I can't agree with. But it obviously, it's different with different people, and some people get drunk on a small gin. Other people take 15 pints before they get drunk.
But it's aimed at ordinary people like you and me, not alcoholics.
Yes. Well, this is the trouble. I mean, what can I say? I'm drunk.
Well, they've passed this law in. What else can it be? It's fair. But normally next week I wouldn't go to that extent. I've had 4 pints. So I should keep down to 3 pints. Fair enough.
Do you think you really will keep to 3 pints?
Yes, I can manage on that. I can enjoy my evening on 3 pints of beer.
Drunken drivers should be off the road. But when they can convince me that passing that test, such as you've done now, that you're drunk and not fit to drive a car, I think it's a lot of cock.
But you could drive a coach and horses through the present act.
Why do you reckon you can do that?
Because you can go in and refuse to take the blood test. The breathalyzer is not the ultimate conviction. You can go through and take a blood. You can go into the station. They'll ask for a blood test. You refuse that. You take a urine test. They wait an hour. They have to throw the first sample away. You wait another hour. Then you refuse to take the urine sample and say you'll take the blood test. You take the blood test, then your blood alcohol will have dropped by at least 30 or 40, whatever it happens to be. I forget, milligrams or something.
You seem very well informed on the law, so you're going to carry on drinking as before, are you?
Yes, I've read the act, and I've made sure in advance that I know exactly what I'm in for anyway.
What's your job?
I'm a law student.
I don't agree with
Of
the
course he
law,
was.
but I shall take notice of it because I don't want to lose my license for a year. Or, as the case might be, whatever the penalty is.
What do you
Or
think
did someone?
getting away with it are?
Well, I don't think they bring laws in that you can get away with anything today. I mean, 70-mile-an-hour limit, and I think, as far as I'm concerned, Mrs. Castle wants to drive people off the road.
Got my keys back.
I think it's fairly diabolical
All right.
because
Okay, I just want to say that one woman's fucking logic there. Well, I've done it in Kenya and I've done it in South Africa. So that means it's okay. I mean, then therefore it doesn't make you drunk because you've done it in other countries. What a fucking moron.
I agree. I totally agree. But for me, just looking at this and looking where we are now, because when you make a law, it just becomes more stricter and stricter as the years go by. Because when this law first came out, the people who were affected by it would only lose their license for a year. Nowadays, if you get caught drink driving, you'll lose your job. You might not be able to drive ever again. You know, depending on how the government sees that particular situation. There is so much on the line for drink driving nowadays. It's absolutely crazy.
Well, I mean, if it prevents people and children from dying, like I've watched so many videos on YouTube of morons that keep doing it over and over again and hitting cars and, and they call it manslaughter. And it's not manslaughter. You knew before you were going to the bar, you drove to the bar sober, that you were going to be drinking that night. And then that guy was like, oh, what about pedestrians? A car's a friggin' weapon when driven by a drunk. A drunk person might knock their head, but that's, shame on them for hurting themselves. A drunk person could kill another family in another car coming home from grandma's house.
Exactly.
Anyway.
I'm going to because Daniel Vance, he showed me something. He mentioned regarding, I'm sure you can find texting, no, not that one, but regarding texting and driving, like you already know that texting or even being on your phone is a dangerous thing, like, which is why I have Bluetooth in my car, which means that I don't have to hold my phone. I can talk that way. So
yeah, I don't think people should text and drive either.
Yep. There are videos just like this in the US over DUI laws, which I'm about to get to, by the way. I found it really made me think about seatbelt laws as well, which was fascinating, which came out in the 80s to make it a legal requirement. And some people hate wearing seatbelts. I mean, I know
there's still places in the United States where motorcyclists don't need to wear helmets.
Yeah, and in the UK, you don't. If you're a bicyclist, you don't need to wear a helmet. But in some other countries, it's a law. But the reason why it'll never be the law in the UK is that we have this thing called we have public bicycles where people can hire off the street, and if you have to wear a helmet wearing those, then those bicycles will never get used because people might want to spontaneously ride that bike. They're not thinking about riding that bike, but oh look, there's a bike, let's hire it, get to where we need to go. But if they have to wear a helmet, they're never going to be able to do that, and so those bikes will end up becoming where it won't be cost effective. So yeah. So let's
back.
pull up. No problem.
Go ahead.
No problem. Sorry, let me just remove that. So Daniel wants, whilst Chris is away, I found the video on seatbelt laws. I'm going to wait for Chris to come back. Let's read some more comments. I love that drink drive video. Yeah, these nostalgic videos where you see things changing, and then you see what the world was like then, and now with decades under the belt, what the world is like now. It's hard to envision a world without seatbelt laws and drink driving laws now. It's just such a normal thing. My brother got done for drink driving years ago, got a 3-year ban. Did he lose his job? Unless he's self-employed, of course. Okay, that's always a possibility.
Back.
All right, so I think this is about the seatbelt ban in the 80s. So this is in America. Let's check it out.
1989, when the use of seatbelts was a controversial topic in this country, in Alberta. It was the last province to enact seatbelt laws, and in this next story, one man fought against them and he won. Here's a look.
That's Canada.
Alberta judge has ruled
Okay,
the
fair enough.
province's seatbelt law is unconstitutional. And tonight, police departments have been told to stop handing out tickets to people who are not buckling up. It's all because of one man who fought the law in court. He said it was a violation of his rights for the province to make seatbelt use mandatory. Whit Fraser reports.
Not long after Alberta's seatbelt law came into effect 18 months ago, Kim Mayer of Calgary challenged it. He believed the government had no right forcing people to use seatbelts. What's more, he argued there are cases where the seatbelts are not safe. The court fight cost Mayer $11,000, and today he won his case before the Court of Queen's Bench.
Gives me faith in the country. I think it's a free country again. I was totally shocked that Alberta would pass a seatbelt law. It just didn't seem like the kind of thing that that people in cattle country would take.
There was no doubt 18 months ago the seatbelt law was a hot item in Alberta. Everybody had an opinion. And today, many have an opinion on the Calgary judge's decision.
People should have the right to decide whether they want it or they don't want it. I wish I knew that judge. I'd buy him a bottle for that.
See the outcome of car accidents argue that the belts do prevent injuries and save lives.
You know, seatbelts work. Thanks for the offer.
If you think of the lives it saves and of the cost to society, it is indeed a tragedy for the health of the people of Alberta.
The Alberta government is not giving in. The Attorney General is considering either an appeal or new legislation.
I guess the surprise just comes that a judge actually found that it was contrary to the charter, and we'll just have to now analyze his judgment and proceed with the appeal.
Basically, find an alternative.
Alberta was the last province in Canada to make seatbelts mandatory. Now the government has told police departments not to write any more tickets until.
Okay, that's done. Okay, keep in mind that the central Canadian area is not the same, but it's akin to the southern states in America, okay? Its people are. Not all people there, but a lot are very much like the South in the United States, if you know what I mean. And the fact that that guy said, what does he know? It's like, well, they probably did studies, buddy. What the fuck do you know? Like, anyway.
All right. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I'm sure obviously the law finally caught up with Alberta. And everyone has to wear a seatbelt now.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like even more recently, like the smoking ban in the indoor. I'm not sure if you have that in Canada, but you know, like public places, you can't smoke indoors. You know, and the funny thing,
even outside in certain areas, you can't smoke. But the cost on the public healthcare system here with preventable injuries, because we pay taxes for our healthcare. If some dick doesn't wear his seatbelt, goes through the windshield, and has severe injuries, goes to hospital, it's no cost to him, but the taxpayers pay, get him well again, as opposed to maybe a couple cracked ribs from the seatbelt, if at all. That's costing me money because he's a stubborn ass.
Yep, I agree 100%. So, is that the Canadian Tom Brokaw? I have no idea who that is. I have no idea. No one wears a seatbelt in India. Yeah, I'm not surprised. But now, let's get on with Stupid American Cunt. All right. And today's Stupid American Cunt is this lady I found on TikTok. So let's check it out. Can you hear it?
No.
No?
My own country is treating me like a criminal.
Yeah.
Now it can.
Because I believe that they stole my rightful president. And just standing up for my country, it makes me a criminal. And it's just not right. It feels so weird to be here. Over 3 years ago,
So, well, watch this Trump supporter cry because she has to go to trial due to her involvement in January the 6th. It's so funny regarding January 6th because you hear different Trump supporters say different things. A lot of them want to blame Antifa and the left, saying that they dressed up as Trump supporters. But then they'll mention the name Ashley Babbitt, who was one of the Trump supporters who got killed. And I've always said, well, if it was Antifa, and that means actually it was Ashley Babbitt Antifa, or was she a fucking BML activist? Which they say, yeah, if that's the case, you know, like they're full of shit. They don't want to take personal responsibility. And now this woman who was involved in this criminal activity is having to face personal responsibility. And she's crying about it. And she's filming herself. Because look at her. You know, she's your stereotypical American Karen. You know, she probably the sort of person, you know, to see somebody a bit different to her and know that she
Yep.
can fucking just shout, scream, or shout police or whatever and fuck up that person's life for them forever. This
Yep.
is, you know, she's privilege personified, and now she's having to basically have a taste of her own medicine.
She participated in what could be argued as treason and overthrowing her own government. And I bet that she was released on her own reconnaissance for the last 3 years. Not in jail, but I bet if a black protester at a Black Lives Matter, not protest, but like parade, was arrested, they'd still be in jail until their court case. Guarantee it.
Yep, I 100% agree.
And not only
yeah.
that, she's a white, middle-aged, probably well-off, blonde lady who's going to get, at the most, time served, which was probably a day until she was processed out, and maybe some probation.
Probation at worst case scenario, and it's crazy because what they did was terrible. But
Treason.
Yeah, exactly. Rick B says, I know it's good it's good for me, but I miss smoking my silk cut with my drink in a bar or club without having to go outside. I miss smoking too. I do, you know, but at the same time, I don't miss the amount of money that I'm not. Let me rephrase that. At the same time, I do enjoy the amount of money that I've saved from not wasting it on drugs and cigarettes and weed and tobacco and Brizzler papers and lighters and filters, you know, and
Yep.
fuel just to go to see my dealer who give me a fucking weak ass straw, you know. Chris Jericho's wife, yeah, I know she was dumb bitch. She wouldn't be in jail because it's a low level crime. Same would happen with this. What are you on about? Black people have. There was one black person his name is James Bond, yeah, and he ended up going to jail. A police officer beat the shit out of him. A police officer pulled him over and asked him what your name was, and the guy said, "My name is James Bond." Yeah, that's his name. And the police officer obviously thought he was taking the piss, so the police officer beat the shit out of him. The judge put the black guy in jail because apparently he was mocking. He felt that, you know, he could have diffused the situation, but he allowed it to go out of control because he was playing or mocking or taking the piss out of the police officer. So the black guy who got beaten up for no reason whatsoever ended up also going to jail.
And not only that, it is the responsibility of the police officer to be the professional here. Whether that guy said, fuck you, he's allowed to, freedom of speech, First Amendment right. The cop could have pulled him over. He could have rolled his window down. The guy could have said registration, ownership, and proof of insurance. And he could have said, sure, you fucking cunt. Here it is. And the cop had no right, it's not against the law to say those words, to beat him, to even arrest him or detain him for using those words, let alone saying your own goddamn name. Sorry,
Exactly.
I really hate and I'm sure it's happening here, but not as much, the American legal system and how lenient they are on not just cops that break the law, but so blatantly do it and that don't get punished for it. And the judges that let them off, and the fact that they'll say it right to your face as if it's okay, like this is how it should be. No, like, what drugs are you on? This is not acceptable.
Exactly. And by the way, anyone out there who's listening, if your name is James Bond and you get pulled over, tell the police that your name is Jimmy. Yeah, tell them your name is Jimmy Bond, because they, you know, that sounds a lot better than James Bond. And I feel sorry. Like there was one girl, her name was Jennifer Lopez, and she could never order a fucking pizza on because every time she had to give her name, they all thought that, you know, the pizza parlors all thought they were getting pranked. Yeah, because her name is fucking Jennifer Lopez. So What can you do? Just
Say
give an
Jen
alternative name.
Lopez.
Yeah. J Lopez or something like that. Yeah. Anyway, final final bit of tonight's show is I saw this lovely clip online. Before I get to that, let me quickly mention Daniel Morris's comment: qualified immunity laws in the US need to go. They protect bad cops, we make all cops look bad. Unfortunately, there's too many bad cops. I mean, I had this debate with the TLD when he was with us. He goes, "Not all cops are bad." Granted, unfortunately, there's too many of them, and the point is not by defending cops by saying that all cops are bad. It's not acknowledging the fact that there's way too many bad cops, and there's not a real day that goes by like mass shootings that are constantly happening in the States. There's not really a day that goes by that there's not a story about a cop who was using excessive force. Anyway.
Oh, wait. Before you go on, those are two issues there. The qualified immunity, if people don't know, cops can break the law as long as they can justify it, and it's so loosely they can get away with this, that they reasonably thought it was okay to do it during the carrying out of their duties. So they can't be sued, they can't even be punished. And the second part, what was it? Qualified immunity and bad cops. I don't care if you have one bad cop or 90% of your cops are bad. It poisons the whole barrel because the other 10% aren't telling on them.
Rigby, listen, mate. There's a document. I want to respond to this. There's a documentary called "The Other Fellow" about people called James Bond and the trouble it causes. And when they got pulled over and they were black and white, yes, it caused problems for people who were black and white. They got fucked over by the police. But the one black guy who was called James Bond was also thrown in jail by a fucking white judge who said he antagonized the police officer. That's racist. God damn it, I want to find you, shake you by the fucking neck and say, how is that not racist, you fucking dickhead? Jesus Christ. That's racist.
Yeah. It could have been so easily sorted out. The cop could have said, stop fucking with me. And he goes, no, sir, this is my ID. That's truly my name. I know it's funny. The cop could have laughed about it. You had me going for a second,
The fact, like I said, the fact that the judge fucking threw that guy in jail, that black guy in jail, for something, he assumed the black guy did, when obviously the cops are so unhinged in the States. Yeah. Well, you might think that, but what I gave you, that's not a rebuttal, to what I just told you. That's not a rebuttal. In fairness, you think everything's racist. I'm telling you what actually happened. This is not a rebuttal. This is just you trying to think that you have a rebuttal when you don't.
Yeah. There was a Canadian. She was driving down through the States to go to Florida. In Georgia, she got pulled over at night by a female cop, gave her Canadian license. The cop said, you don't have a valid license to drive in Georgia. She's like, yeah, it's not out of date. It's right there. It's up to date. And the cop said, no, you can't drive here on a Canadian license. And she's like, but I can. So the cop threw her in handcuffs. They towed her car, put her in jail. She had over $9,000 with bail, with getting her car out, with the extra. And she's such a nice lady. I would not be as nice as her. The news interviewed her, and she's like, yeah, it's almost all cleared up. They're sending me a check for all that. I'm like, bitch, fucking sue them. They took away, and every person who puts their foot on American soil has the rights that every American has normally. They took away her Fourth Amendment right, her First Amendment right. And she was also asked to speak to her consulate, which doesn't count as your first phone call. It's a guarantee, by the way, and it cannot be withheld. That was taken away from her too. We have a treaty with that country. As a Canadian, I can drive in the States. I can drive in Mexico. They can drive here on their license. And a cop not knowing that, even after she said, phone the precinct, You can look it up online. I did before I came down here, even though I knew it was true. I double checked it. Cop didn't want to hear it because they want it. In small towns, they'll pull over Canadian. They target us. They pull you over, knowing you're not going to come back to fight the charge a month, 2 months later, because it would cost money. So you just pay the fine. That's how they make money in small towns.
Yep. And I heard about that particular town, which has I think like maybe 500 people living in there, but 100 police officers, and they're all fucking arresting or ticketing people because they're able to, and that's how they make money. I mean, it's ridiculous.
And they're not even most of those cops aren't even real cops, if you know what I mean. They're deputized by their cousins and their brothers and other friends that are already cops.
Fucking ridiculous. Anyway, this is our final clip of the day. This has been a bit of a short stream today. I think it was only me and you. There's less people to bounce off, but I thought this was kind of funny. So let's check. Oh, you'll see it.
Okay.
As it happens.
People who are angry and frustrated. Sorry, sir? What do you say? I must go home? Sir, I'm going home to Brixton later. I'm going home to Brixton. Sir, when you... Sir, why am I here? Sir, I was happy. You asked me why I'm here. I was happy at home in my own country in Africa, swinging from tree to tree, speaking the Ooga Booga language. A white man came to me in Africa and he promised me a world cruise where I will not have to work long hours. And my mother, my friend, when we were in Africa in the trees, we saw the white man below us stealing all our resources. My mother said to me one day, let us go back to England and get it back. We arrived at England, Heathrow Airport. The immigration officer said to my mother, how long are you here for? She said, as long as my gold, diamond, uranium, titanium, cobalt, oil, copper, iron, lead, silver, rice, coffee, cocoa, tea is here, I am here. He stamped permanent resident of the United Kingdom with her passport. My friend, when you Europeans arrived in Africa, I am 40 years old. You spent 400 years in Africa. I've got 360 years left in this country. And if you don't like it, you can fuck off.
Fucking brilliant.
Yeah,
I have 350 years left in this country. And when I leave, I'm taking all of the art you stole from my country, all the titanium that you ripped from the soil, all the gold, all the diamonds.
I have one more bonus clip, by the way. As we're on that.
He was good. He was good with the comebacks. Like,
yes, he was.
Hey.
So let's get the old comment here, and this is of a similar vein. So, and this one's done by an Asian person too, Rick B. So represent. All right, here we go.
A lot of white people don't like my comedy. A lot of white people say this to me. Hey, Amir. Hey. You get on stage. You make your jokes about white people. You say white people this, white people that. What if I did something like that, huh? What if I got on stage and I said, yeah, black people are like this, Muslims are like that. You'd probably call me a racist, wouldn't you? And I say, yeah, I would. Yeah, you should never do that. That's bad for your health. They're like, well, you do that, Amir. You do that. You get on stage, you make your jokes about white people. Don't you think that's a kind of racism? Don't you think that's dun dun dun? Reverse racism. I said no. I don't think that's reverse racism. Not because I think reverse racism doesn't exist, right? If you ask some black and brown people, they'll tell you flat out there is no such thing as reverse racism. I don't agree with that. I think there is such a thing as reverse racism, and I could be a reverse racist if I wanted to. All I would need would be a time machine, right? And what I'd do is I'd get in my time machine, I'd go back in time to before Europe colonized the world, right? And I'd convince the leaders of Africa, Asia, the Middle East, Central and South America to invade and colonize Europe, right? Just occupy them, steal their land and resources. set up some kind of like, I don't know, trans-Asian slave trade where we exported white people to work on giant rice plantations in China. Just ruin Europe over the course of a couple of centuries so all their descendants would want to migrate out and live in the places where black and brown people come from. But of course, in that time, I'd make sure I set up systems that privilege black and brown people at every conceivable social, political, and economic opportunity. The white people would never have any hope of real self-determination. Just every couple of decades, make up some fake war as an excuse to go and bomb them back to the Stone Age and say it's for their own good because their culture's inferior, and just for kicks, subject white people to colored people's standards of beauty, so they end up hating the color of their own skin, eyes, and hair. If, after hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years of that, I got on stage at a comedy show and said, hey, what's the deal with white people? Why can't they dance? That would be reverse racism. Marvin, thank you. You've been great. Good night. A lot of people don't like my comedy.
Very good, huh? Hopefully, our resident Rick B would have learned something today, but I'm not too sure. Also, it's William Shatner's birthday today. Are we all singing him happy birthday? No, we won't. Fuck William Shatner. Here we use camera for speed traps, mail you your ticket, and hope you just pay it. Yeah, we do the same here in the UK. Well, the whole point is it leads to a punchline, Rick B. That's the whole point of comedy. You know, you tell a story and then boom, you hit that punchline. And I thought it was very good.
There's different styles of comedy, and there have been white people that do the storytelling too for the punchline at the end, where it's drawn out for a bit. And there's people that just do joke. It's different styles. Some are tales of learning plus the joke at the end, and that's what he was doing.
Unfortunately, William Shatner is a strange one because the people he worked with in Star Trek didn't like him. I think the only person who got along with him was Leonard Nimoy. He was like the go-between. But
and didn't they not speak afterwards for a while?
Well, yeah. Well, George Takei and James Doohan did not like William Shatner, and I think William Shatner might have been homophobic. And George Takei, not too long ago, got married, and every other Star Trek TOS character who was still alive attended his wedding, except for William Shatner. So go figure.
So either he wasn't invited because he was homophobic the whole time, or he didn't go because he's homophobic and closeted. So
you know, there's a really good clip actually on. Got one more bonus clip. Let me just find it.
That's an opinion, Rick B. That's your opinion. It wasn't crap. It just wasn't funny to you. That's, the difference between objective and subjective. No, you probably don't know. Sorry.
Where is it? I think it's this one. Yeah, this is it. Like he's not a young guy anymore, and the fact he isn't homophobic to Kai. Yeah.
Oh, do you know him, Rick? You get friends with Will?
Don't get me wrong. I mean, that was one of the issues, but you can have more than one issue with a person, dude. Damn, why am I starting to cough? Okay, hello, boss man. Boss man, we're at the end, mate. You're fucking joining us right at the end.
Sorry, wait, I was just talking something a bit. Sorry.
Hey, boss man.
So we're talking about Shatner.
Yeah, well, we're doing one more bonus clip and then we're done, mate. So Hold on, I'm having real problems with my thingy. Okay.
See a doctor about that.
Yeah, well. So
is it
let's
drippy or
check out.
itchy?
It comes and goes, but check out when I saw this, it's just William Shatner himself, because he's basically watching impressions of him of by other actors of him in Captain Kirk mode. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know what they're doing. I don't talk like that.
Mr. Spock, my friend, we've got to do something.
As you can tell, I don't talk like that.
Although the faces seem the same.
This is the way I talk. I talk like this. Okay?
The lives of 430 crewmen stand in the balance.
This is hysterical, really. What show are we on?
And the possibility, the potential.
Hello, I'm William Shatner, and for some reason, unknown to me, people impersonate me. I don't know what they're doing. So I'm going to review some of these impressions, and I'll give you a blow-by-blow as we go along, okay? Why do people do impressions of me? I don't know. They think they're being funny, and I guess some of them are, but every time it happens, I nudge my wife, who's usually sitting beside me, and I say, what are they doing? And she says, they're doing an impression of you. And I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it.
Death, disease, destruction, horror.
He's laughing while he's doing it, so he knows it's not working.
That's what war is all about. That's what makes it a thing to be avoided.
That's what war is, Councilman. That's what makes it a thing to be avoided.
You've made it neat and painless.
You've made it neat and simple.
So neat and painless, you've had no reason to stop it.
So neat and simple that you've had no reason to stop it.
And you've had it for 500 years.
And you've had it for 500 years.
See, Seth MacFarlane is very funny. He's a very funny man. Every so often, comics tell a joke in a club, and the joke doesn't go over, and they say, yeah, well, I'm here until Thursday or something like that. That's what Seth needs to have done on that impression. I'm here until Thursday, folks. Thank you very much.
Something strange has happened. Since crashing through a cosmic cloud, I've noticed a peculiar change in the behavior of my crew, although the faces seem the same.
Now, wait a minute. See, Kevin is like he's manic. He's like he's got a strange twitch.
I don't know.
I don't understand the twitch. And I know Kevin. I think of Kevin as a friend of mine. I directed him in a half-hour comedy. He's very funny. He's playing the comedy. He's not playing. Come on.
What would you change about his impression to make it better?
He doesn't sound like me. It doesn't even look like me. Come on. You're beginning to annoy me, Max.
Apologies.
Okay.
Dr. McCoy is right in pointing out the inherent risk in dealing with any alien species.
I know Jason rather well. I've invited him 3 times to Monday Night Football at my house, and he's been busy or he's turned me down, so I'm not inviting him anymore. So that's probably why he's doing this impression, which is not bad.
But risk is our business.
The amazing part about Jason's impression is he knows the dialogue. He's memorized the dialogue from the show.
That's what the Starship is all about. That's why we're aboard.
her.
No, it's gonna be good.
Even a spaceship, for God's sake.
Spock, who is he?
He looks great in the uniform. So it looked so good, he can do anything he wants. That's how good he looks in it.
That's poppycock. These people are perfectly free to do anything they like.
His interpretation of me lacks a certain masculinity.
Why do you say that?
Max, come on.
Oh, the legend.
For God's sake!
Chevy Chase is Spock.
0.04 light years, sir, and closing fast.
Lieutenant Uhura, open a hailing frequency.
I've been trying to raise them, but there's no response.
Pretty good.
This is Captain James T. Kirk of the Starship Enterprise. Identify yourself.
See, I like the way Jim Carrey looked in the uniform. Not too fond of the way Belushi looks. Otherwise, it's not bad.
Do you remember this sketch running?
Max, you're beginning to annoy me.
Moving on.
Spock, can you fix it?
Chris Pine could do no harm.
Familiar
familiar with the mechanics of plasma systems, but I do know someone who is. My brother.
You have a brother. The guy that's playing Spock really is good.
Romulans could fire at any moment. Spocko, give it your best shot. All right, no problem.
Think of the ramifications of what Chris Pine is doing. It's Captain Kirk playing Captain Kirk, and that mirror image shimmers back and forth and will go on into infinity.
Bill Nye.
Scan the Excalibur. Is there any life?
Bill Nye is the science guy.
Yeah.
What's he doing an impression?
You have killed.
He's doing a wonderful impression, except he's bent over as though his stomach is contracting and pulling him forward. So he's leaning forward. His attitude is completely wrong.
You have destroyed.
So the impression is not bad, but the attitude is totally wrong. It's not working, man. It's just not working.
Do you see anything about it that is working?
The only thing that's working is that Bill Nye becomes the science guy.
Normally, Shatner talks at a pretty lightning fast pace. He's William Shatner. He's talking. And when sometimes the lines aren't as obvious to him, he slows down. Becomes more deliberate in his approach. Until he gets it, then he's back speaking up again and talking.
See, Bruce Campbell's an actor, and he knows that actors, me anyway, what the hell is the next word? Oh, I can remember the next words. And he's right. So Bruce Campbell is really the most knowledgeable. Wait a minute. A guy is going to do an impression of me for an audition to be on a show? This I have got to see.
My toupee flies off in advance.
Child.
I'm talking like this because my girdle is killing me.
This kid's got to go back to preschool. He's too young. This is a toddler doing an impression of me. Well, that's an insult. It's an insult. Why would he do that? Did he get the job?
All right. Now, when I was watching that initially, there were moments where I think Shatner went a little bit diva-ish.
I didn't realize I was on mute. Can I say
No
something?
problem.
Go
I was gonna say he owns himself there because he's like, they're just acting manic. They don't know how to act. And then they show a side clip of him doing the exact timing, speech, cadence, and being what he just described as manic. So he self-owns.
Yeah, he does. And like, he's like saying about like this person, he's not very masculine. He doesn't even look like me. Well, the point is that they're doing an impression. They might not look like you whatsoever. Is it Jason? What's his face? The guy from Seinfeld. Yeah, he doesn't look like you at all, but he managed to do an impression that he was happy with. So it was a bit weird. And like, just a couple of times, the guy who was behind the camera, Shatner, was a little bit diva-ish with him. You're annoying me right now. Like that, stuff like that. Like, it's hard to tell. Maybe he was being tongue in cheek, but at the same time, this is William Shatner. So yeah.
Seth MacFarlane, very good.
Yeah, no, but I actually like Jim Carrey because it was over the top, and at the same time, you knew it was Shatner. At the same time, it was a caricature, and I like that a lot more than all the others. With Chris Pine was playing I never really thought Chris Pine was fully mimicking Kirk. He was when you see Carl Urban, you know he's mimicking Bones. He's DeForest Kelly. He's playing him, playing Bones. But when you see Pine, you don't see him playing Shatner, playing Kirk. And he put his own spin on it. But everyone else, they're all mimicking Shatner, playing Kirk. Anyway, let's get to some comments and we're going to call it a day. So you love Seth MacFarlane. That is a shocker.
Why would that shock someone?
Considering, it's a shocker for me, but it's Rick B saying it. But
no, I know. I know that, but like, why he's comedic genius.
Yeah, but he also Rigby's a Trump supporter. That's why I was a shocker.
Yeah, it's ultra lefty.
So, Daniel Vines, if you got invited to Monday Night Football at Shatner's house, what are you bringing? Well, I'll tell you this, by the way. I agree with Shatner. You invite somebody a couple, 2 or 3 times. If they keep avoiding, then fuck them. Don't invite them anymore.
Yeah,
you give them a chance, and they say and they keep giving you the elbow. That's it. You stop inviting them.
And
But,
he self-owned there again because he's like, we're friends, and I've invited him 3 times, and he doesn't show up. Well, buddy, you're not friends. You can say that I know him and I invited him. He made excuses, so I won't invite him again because that's dickish.
And this is a thing as well, Chris. He's Jason Alexandra. You are the legendary Bill Shatner. Yeah, he should be crawling to your fucking door.
Yeah,
with snacks and beers and everything. That's what you bring. Everything and anything, Daniel Vance. If he was just, but he obviously doesn't care, because it's William Shatner, and William Shatner's an asshole. But you bring Molson Canadian Lager, but he's Canadian, of course. Yes, all those Canadian jokes.
Yeah, but I don't think that William Shatner's being totally serious with what he was saying there. He's somebody who doesn't take himself as seriously as people think he does.
I think they're tongue in cheek. I think he's a lot older now. He's a bit older now, so things are a bit more relaxed. And obviously, he's quite settled with what he's got.
That big ego.
Yeah, for sure. That was great. Loved it. Yeah, I'm glad you liked it, Rick B. It was a good one. Shatner was just joking. You're reading too much. Yeah, I thought so at times, but it's hard to say. So, Mr. System, hello, Mr. System. Welcome to the stream. Unfortunately, you're caught catching this on the tail end. I might, because there's some people joining us, I might find some other material for us to look at. I'm not a Trump supporter, and I think Seth MacFarlane is great. You're not a Trump supporter, dude. You want him to be president of the United States, man. What the fuck? He has the same personality as me. I would get on with him. Fair enough. Gaz is off the hook. Mr. System is now the rotten egg. Fair enough. And Anne Marie, welcome to the stream. So
again, I'm a huge fan of Shatner anyway, because he knows he's a bit of a ham, and he knows there's a little. I mean, have you ever seen Loaded Weapon?
Yeah. He's in that.
Yeah. He totally parodies that.
Dude. What about Airplane 2, where he's parodying himself in that as well? He's
He's not afraid to make fun of himself. Look, he knows what people think of him.
Yeah, but look, Ben Kingsley has done comedy, and people know that he can be a bit of a diva-ish arsehole regardless. So, but anyway,
everyone does Willie Shatner as he could have go on and all that sort of stuff. Everyone does Willie Shatner like that, so it doesn't matter. I mean, I like him. So,
well, look, I'm gonna show you getting back into the politics thing. Oh no, I forgot to add the sound. I know I did. This guy is like out the American version of Mick Lynch, and am I going to see the new Ghostbusters? I will see it. I am not gagging to see it like some people are, but I will see it. So I like this guy. His name is Sean Fain. It's just a name it's just a shame that his name sounds very similar to Sinn Féin, which was this kind of terrorist
IRA,
group. Yeah,
political.
But nevertheless, that's just unfortunate because it's just. Yeah, I saw Roadhouse, by the way. The original is better. I just want to quickly say regarding Roadhouse, as I said before, there's no need to remake a movie that's already good, and Roadhouse is one of them. But I will say this: I did enjoy Conor McGregor. His acting is not great; it does need some fine tuning. But he was on screen. I did enjoy his performance, and him playing this sort of crazy, sort of super henchman. I liked it. I liked it for him. And Jake Gyllenhaal playing this sort of nice guy bouncer. I like that too. It was a good moment, but not everything gelled, in my opinion. Yeah, the road. It's on Amazon Prime right now. If you want to check it out.
I'm probably going to check it out after we get done here.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just check regarding checking things out. Let's have a quick look at this guy here.
Sean Fain is the reason billionaires.
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
All right. This guy should be the president of the United States.
Check under their beds at night.
You also rail against the billionaire class, and you wear T-shirts at times that say, "Eat the rich."
I don't think billionaires should exist. No one needs that much money. I think it's inhumane. Take any city, walk around, you see people starving, people without basic necessities. There's no excuse for that. And it's not because people are lazy or don't want to work. The billionaires that keep amassing more and more wealth so they can build rocket ships and do whatever the hell they want to do, that does nothing for humanity.
Your critics say that's class warfare.
Yeah, class warfare has been going on in this country for the last 40 years. The billionaire class has been taking everything and leaving the working class with nothing.
So you welcome it. You want the war.
It's always, whenever working class people ever step up and say, this is wrong, we want it to stop, all of a sudden, it's class warfare. It's the end of the war.
When a company uses fear, we're going to come back with facts. And these are the facts. Volkswagen made $78 billion since 2020 in profit. They paid out $24 billion in dividends to corporate executives and shareholders. The CEO of Volkswagen makes $12 million a year.
After the UAW's recent victories, non-union automakers, including Honda, Toyota, Hyundai, and VW, offered raises too.
I respect what you're doing, man.
Oh, thanks, man.
But the extra pay came without the union's benefits or job protections.
You just had the strike with the big three. Why not take it down a notch? Why come into this tough territory in the South?
Oh, we don't ever rest. I mean, that's workers deserve justice.
Sean Fain is the reason billionaires check under their beds at night.
I purposely wanted to show you this guy because I want him to get more publicity, and it's a good thing that he does, because this guy is maybe like a modern day Bernie Sanders in that sense. Obviously, he's not a politician, but he gets it. And like, there was this one story I heard about how this particular company made billions of dollars in profits, and you know what they gave their the workers? They gave them pizza. Yeah, they gave them pizza.
The only reason those companies wanted to give raises is because they're so fearful of the unions. They didn't want them to unionize, so they're like, "Oh, here, just have a little crumb," because it's a crumb to them. They're billionaires, so they're like, "Oh, just have a little bit, just enough, so we know you won't unionize."
Exactly.
The thing is, this is why I get pissed off with the family media in this country when it goes against people who, like doctors' unions, for example, or the NHS unions, or junior doctors' unions, or anything like that. Where they're going, all these people are doing no service. It's like they're getting paid like shit. So, and they do really
junior doctors, I think, in your country make 20, 25.
About 25 grand, yeah. Which ain't going to cover even the payment maps.
It's fuck all, but I was watching something about the happiest countries in the world. Always tends to be the Nordic countries, your Finland, your Denmarks, your Norways, your Swedens, your Icelands. They all tend to be the most happiest countries, and those countries, for a start, have like 85% of the workforces out there are under unions, and so much stuff is covered for them. Basic necessities, healthcare, obviously union support for work. If you are sick, you get paid. If you have paternity leave and maternity leave, you get paid. If you go on holiday and you can have up to a month worth of holiday, you get paid. And these are the things that make people happy. Hey, shush you.
Happy workers make you more money too.
Exactly. And so, and that, in a way, that's why the 4-day work week is kind of looked upon by the corporate society, because for a start, there's more productivity done in 4 days than 5 days, and so that's the reason why they're happy to consider a 4-day work week, because if you can get more productivity done in 4 days than 5, then yeah, we'll do 4 days, and then everybody's happy because you get 3 days off. So That's why it's been considered. But regardless, countries which looks after their citizens are way better off, and the people are way more happier, and they work better than those countries that don't. And there's people like Sean Fain, hopefully, who can maybe in a way get just a little bit of what other countries are doing, because America only has only 10% of their workforce has unions. They really want to make sure they don't want you. Yeah, they're so dead against it. It's a fucking joke. Yeah. Anything you want to say about that? Anything?
No, I'm good.
No?
I just think that if you can join a union, and don't let people union bust you. That's what I'm going to say.
Well, it's hard getting the union going in the first place. Like Walmart's notorious for union busting.
Exactly. And yeah, I mean, most American, just anything in America. I mean, for instance, like Elon Musk, he's anti-union, and he can get away with union busting in places like the States. At the same time, like he has businesses he has like depots and stuff like that in countries like Sweden, where unions are it's just how it goes, and people out there in Sweden are not willing to let any of his Teslas come to fruition unless they get what they want, and so he has no choice but
what they deserve, not what they want, what they deserve.
Yeah. Sorry, thank you for correcting me. What they deserve, because let's be honest, Elon Musk has got everything he deserves, everything he can get, because he's got more money than than is warranted. Yeah, he'll ever use for millions of lifetimes. By the way, millions of lifetimes. He's got more money than he'll ever need. So it always pisses me off when, and I'm glad Sean Fain brought this up, when you hear about homeless people and people living on the streets and stuff like that. In my opinion, it is up to the richest people in society to resolve that issue, whether they believe in it or not. It is up to them. And if it's not up to them, then it's up to our government to tax the fuck out of these rich people, so that we can use their money to fucking resolve the homeless crisis. Because it's better for society that people who are homeless and out of work, to put them back into some sort of productivity where they are making a difference to society, instead of being homeless and not working. Don't you want them to get back to work? Don't you want them to live a better life? Do you not want to end the homeless crisis? Are you happy seeing homeless people on the street? I fucking hate it. I fucking don't like it. It makes me wonder what it would be like if I was in their position, but I'm glad that I'm not. At the same time, I'd rather nobody be in that position, but it's better for the world that we're all fucking productive members of society with roofs over our fucking heads. The rich people don't want that. They just want to keep all the money for themselves. Yeah.
And they stockpile it, and there's no use for it because they have too much.
Yep. Exactly. Sorry,
I brought up Walmart really quick, guys. Sorry. I brought up Walmart as a for a reason. They have family members that are in like the top 10 richest people in America. Like 6 of their family members or something like that are so rich, they're in the like top 10, and they can't pay their people a living wage. They actually have programs at work for Walmart workers so that they know how to sign on for extra benefits and food stamps instead of paying them a living wage.
Yeah, they could do it. People like Jeff Bezos could do it, but they don't. If anything, all they do is put trackers on their staff members so that they can watch how many times they take a shit whilst they're working. People having to, like there's delivery drivers who have to defecate in piss and bottles because they're on schedules and stuff like that. Like the other day I ordered a curry from Deliveroo, and I had no idea there was a box, an Amazon box outside my house. The Deliveroo guy pointed it out to me, because these Amazon guys, they got so much time they've got so little time to resolve, like to complete a day's worth of work, that they're not even like giving me a chance to come to the door to see if they're shit at my door, ring the bell, or in my case, they probably rang the wrong doorbell. and then they fuck off and hope that I'm there to answer the door. You know, so that's what's going on right now, and that's what happened to me the other day. Thank God I got all my shit. You know, but anyway, let's read some comments.
Porch Pirates getting it.
I was going to talk about a couple of issues, but I didn't know if you guys had touched them before.
Go on. What are they, guys?
The kerfuffle about the England football shirt.
The England football shirt? Go on.
Yeah. So basically, there's a new England football shirt, and on the back of the collar, there's a St. George's cross. So what they've done, what Nike have done, is instead of it being red like it usually is, they made it blue and red and pink and stuff like that. Now, what the right-wing media of this country have done is said that's because they want to be inclusive for LGBT. That isn't what they've done. What they've actually done is they've done that to celebrate the England World Cup winning team of 1966 and the colours that they won the World Cup with. That's why they changed it. Now, the thing is, you can't tell people who got it in their heads that it's for. But that's not the thing that people should be mad about. They should be mad about it. It's 80 quid.
Yeah.
80.
Yeah. I mean, Arsenal shirts are in the 100 quid range as well. So, which is why I find all this shit to be absolutely crazy. But I wasn't going to bring this up, but because you led to this, I wanted to show you this quick story also on TikTok to do with something very similar.
That's why I'm a Wrexham supporter.
It's they're Welsh, but regardless, this is a story about a guy who owns a chip shop who had the Union Jack painted on the wall of his chip shop, and the council told him to take it down. And all these fucking gammon dickheads, all these. I mean, look at this guy. He looks like he's part of the National Front already. The guy at the bottom, but they're the ones complaining about it and saying it's anti-British, but they don't know the facts. And this guy's going to tell you the facts. Can you hear it?
We've been told now we have
to
the Union flag in the UK. That is absolutely.
Hello and welcome to Fact Checking TikTok. This is the show where we do the small amount of research that no one else can be bothered to do to make sure that people aren't spreading wild, outlandish nonsense on the internet that could, of course, create more cases of bigotry, xenophobia, racism, and all the things that we just don't like here, we shouldn't like on this platform. This post that we've just looked at is referring to a story that has popped up in the news recently about a man in Britain, a chip shop owner, that painted a mural on his wall of a Union Jack, or a Union flag, to use the name correctly, and the council told him to take it down. Take it down because that flag it's offensive to foreigners. You can't upset the foreigners. However, I've done some extensive research on this matter. And when I say extensive, what I did was I typed British chip shop Union Jack into Google and hit enter. And what I found was this story is absolute nonsense. No surprise there. This person that owned the chip shop, a foreigner, by the way, and also a Muslim, painted on a wall in a conservation area without permission. You see, when you paint a wall in a conservation area without permission, what is very likely to happen is the council will make you remove the painting. And that is exactly what they did. They have confirmed in writing to multiple news sources that it had nothing to do with the subject or the context of the painting itself. It was because somebody had illegally defaced a wall in a conservation area. Simple as that. So perhaps in future, people might like to, when they hear these sort of crazy stories that get people frothing at the mouth, they might just want to do a very, very simple Google search, realize that it's absolute nonsense, not share it online, not make themselves look stupid, and not spread unnecessary hate.
We've been told now we have to remove a Union flag
and
in
so,
the UK.
Unfortunately, and I'm very happy that this guy set the record straight, but unfortunately, the damage has been done with so many people believing that it's anti-Union Jack and anti-British and all that sort of shit, which wasn't the case. So,
because sensational stories will get the headlines, and there's a saying: "A lie will run around the world before the truth puts its shoes on." You know?
I mean, and this what about we're talking about as well is another version of that. Now, Kate, who is the Princess of Wales, has just come out with the fact that she has cancer and has been doing chemotherapy because of it. Right? Now, people have been bullshitting about her for the last 2 weeks about where she's been, to the fact that somebody tried in the British media to get her doctor's records. I'm not joking. They literally did that. They literally went to, and I'm sorry. I don't, even if you don't like the roles, that is bullshit with a capital B.
Is that true, though? How do you know?
Because they admitted to it. They admitted to the fact that they were trying to get her hospital records.
By the way, hello TLD. Welcome back. We're almost at the end of our stream, so I've said so many times, but yeah, we spoke about that earlier on today, and our opinion was regarding Kate is that we don't really care, and but at the same time, I do care regarding misinformation, because I hate misinformation, because I've fallen victim to it, you know, and I feel like a fucking idiot when I end up spreading it myself, and then it pisses me off because I've been saying the wrong goddamn thing. So I'm very happy that this person admitted to it regarding that. But you know, with Kate Middleton apparently missing prior to her going to hospital or whatever, I had no idea where the fuck she was anyway. You know, she wasn't really making the rounds on our television screens or anything. But now she's fucking been admitted to hospital. People want to finally know more about what's going on with her. Fair enough, she is a royal. These people make the fucking public headlines and shit like that. But prior to her going to hospital and now her going to hospital, I still don't give a fuck. I will obviously. I'm more curious to a degree, because I do know that she's got cancer stuff, and this sort of shit is going to make the news now. So there will be more constant updates. But I'm being in the position that I am in here in YouTube and with NerdTube and doing these sort of shows, these sort of updates will be reasonably relevant to what we do. Still don't give a fuck though.
It just shouldn't be though. Like, okay, we need to report it. We feel bad someone has cancer, okay, but we know she's gonna get great care. If something does change, because there's gonna be no real updates for months and months and months. They're still in those months going to try and report on everything down to what color her fucking hospital gown is. And that's ridiculous.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's important that she comes out with it and talks about it, because there's people who's probably going through the same thing, who are going through, who have got either a family member or even themselves, and it's important that somebody who is as well known as she is, who's willing to talk about the fact that she's going through it, and maybe they can find some word solidarity in the fact that she's talking about it, and it's something that you can solve. And I think that there's to that extent, and I think that's why it's important personally, but that's just me.
Yeah, that's great, but they don't have to report the way they're going to report, because I can almost guarantee they're going to, like I said, talk about the color of her gown, talk about how big her room is. If you want
what she ate.
if you want to create solidarity, talk about the charities you can donate to, talk about the types of cancers, how they progress, what to do to prevent them, how to screen for them, that sort of thing. Great. But that's not all it's going to be, and that's what pisses me off.
Yeah, exactly. Not to go backward, but there was one question Lemon asked us that bothered me about his prescription, and that's none of Lemon's damn business. That's just the uncouth. Fair enough.
That I agree with you, that advance.
That's up to them. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I can't read that.
No, sorry. If somebody wants to share their medical history diagnosis, that's up to them.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think the thing is, I personally think that she got her hand forced with all the conspiracy theories that have been floating around. Like, so, where is she? This has happened. This has happened. She's on the move. She's with Bigfoot. She's doing this. She's doing that. It's like there's got to be a point where she's going, right, so I've got to speak about this now. Something I really don't want to talk about. It's like, okay, and
well, she doesn't have to say shit. Like she has a husband. He can speak on her behalf if they want to be more public with this. Personally, I don't understand why it like in a way like because we pay our taxes go towards them, we feel like there's some sort of relevance of them keeping us up to date with their situation. But I personally don't give it. As I said before, I don't give a shit. If they want to update us when she recovers, fine. If she dies, they want to update us then, fine. In between, don't fucking care. You know what I mean? If she recovers, then great. Let us know then. If she's dead afterwards, let us know then. But I don't need constant fucking updates. Let the professionals do their job, and let's just keep on mind our own business and fucking and we have more important things individually and as a society to be concerned about than somebody who will be getting the best fucking medical treatment on God's green earth to worry about their needs. There's nothing more annoying sometimes than to be concerned about somebody who is going to be so well better off. We don't give a fuck about the homeless people or the poor people or the sick people. That's what I'm focused on, not some fucking pampered person who has the best treatment ever, gets armed guards, gets police to cut through all the traffic jams when they're driving wherever they want to fucking go. Like these sort of things, like people like her, they offer nothing to society other than what maybe all of us would like to be in a position ourselves, having the best of everything. Other than that, we should be concerned more about people who have less, because those people need more.
And maybe more time should be spent solving the problem of people living paycheck to paycheck. And like, sure, we might want the stuff she has, but it's above and beyond what people would want when they fantasize about being rich. It's so gilded that it's beyond just being well off and rich. What they have art that we could never even conceive of owning. They have gilded, like gold painted shit in their house. Like, oh, just sorry.
Like the other year, a few years ago, I wasn't too far from Buckingham Palace, but I saw the police driving past my car. I was going one direction, but the police were going the other direction, and they were escorting a couple of cars. And because it was nighttime, the lights from all the shops and the buildings and stuff like that was able to reflect through the windows, and I got silhouettes and impressions of some of the people in those cars when I saw them drive past me. And I could easily see Princess Anne in one car laughing her ass off, and I saw Camilla in another car. It was definitely them two. And these people will never understand what it means to be in the traffic jam, because they are getting police escorts all the fucking time to drive them wherever the fuck they want. And traffic jams will be something oblivious to them because of who they are. I saw King Charles going the opposite direction to me as I was driving down the road. I just saw him through the car. I saw him sitting in the back looking like this. For a millisecond, I could pick up on that. And once again, this person will never be stuck in a fucking traffic jam. He's got police escorts and shit like that. You have people at your everyday whim. Like these people are beyond taken care of, man. That's why I don't give a shit about what happens to Kate Middleton. It's really difficult for me to care.
Could you imagine giving them like £10 and saying, okay, you got to get from here to here on the tube? And they'd be like, what's the tube? Like, let alone try to buy a ticket and live through the experience.
Exactly. And then when obviously you see with Prince Andrew, who is a paedophile, there's not be any no bones about it. Allegedly won, and he will never face any justice. He's totally fine. He got caught looking like a dickhead in that interview by ITV. You know, guilty as sin with the fucking pictures, as well as a confession by the girl who he allegedly raped, saying that fucking Andrew raped her when she was a teenager. And will Prince Andrew ever face any justice, let alone, I mean, look, he's not even going to court. He's not even going to court. You know,
he won't face justice, and at the same time, her name will be dragged through the mud.
Yeah. So and this was all through Epstein and stuff like that. She was just a kid, you know, and he was a young man, or he was a young man or old man, doesn't matter. He was a man, you know, and no legal ramifications whatsoever, you know. So
I remember. Sorry, I keep cutting you off. I apologize.
It's all right.
Okay, you know Russell Howard, right? The comedian.
Yes.
He had that TV show, like the half an hour special he did, and he put up that interview with the prince, and he would cut in and out of it, and you see the prince there. Well, there's an issue there because of the Falkland Islands. At the time, I didn't sweat, and he's visibly sweating now. And it cuts to Howard. He's like, "I bet you're sweating now," but and I should laugh at it, but like. Everyone can see that video and knows, alleged or not. And then during the interview, he's like, he was asked, you recently went to New York. Why did you stay at Russell Howard's place? And he's like, oh, it was the most convenient at the time. It's like, you're a fucking goddamn prince. You can stay at any hotel for free and not have to worry about a thing. But you still chose, after you knew what Epstein was, to stay at his house because it was the most convenient for you.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and people like Epstein are uber rich as well. Even though Prince Andrew's uber rich, but they could still offer him something that maybe Andrew is unable to obtain, like young girls, for instance. But I've got a couple of things to quickly show you, which I thought. A bit of amusement, near the end. As I said so many times, we wanted to finish this fucking stream, so I thought this was kind of funny. This guy bringing up this. Let's check it out.
There's a weird new trend on Twitter where members of the far right will generate AI images to show us how terrifying the future will be when the immigrants take over. So this is Ashley Simon. She's a failed politician from Britain First. And she's posted this picture with the caption, "Is this the future you want for your daughters and granddaughters?" But all it is a slightly sad looking white girl hugging a Union Jack cushion sitting on a bus. And it looks like some cheerful Somalian guys are trying to cheer her up. I mean, I'd be fine with this for my daughter. But this one is my absolute favorite. Buckingham Palace in the Islamists' future plans. Let's take a closer look. So when the Muslims take over, we're going to have some kind of enormous carnival outside Buckingham Palace. We've got elephants here that are about 5 or 6 stories high. We've got circus tents. We've got carousels. Look at the thousands of people swarming to be there. I mean, look at this bit up here. It looks like Glastonbury. It's just like millions of people and huge, colourful tents. Look at the reforestation in London. The trees are thriving. Okay, Buckingham Palace has been moved to where Paul Culler's house currently is next to Parliament. But, it's going to be worth it because look at the amazing festival that's going on. Muslims, if you're watching this, please hurry up and take over because I am coming to see this shit.
Obviously, that's tongue in cheek, but I thought that was kind of funny. And it's funny because the way they portrayed Buckingham Palace is not where it is zonally. Like they had it moved. They had it right next door to the Houses of Parliament and shit like that. It's not there. But regardless,
but they're doing that to show like our government's also at risk, not just our royals and our Britishness. Like they had to. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And let's end with a little bit of this is really good, by the way. This is good. A bit of science fiction.
I like sci-fi.
Star Wars, to be more precise.
Did you know that in 2003, when the Star Wars original trilogy aired on TV in Chile, they actually put the commercial breaks in the movie? So instead of cutting up the movie with commercial breaks, they just inserted Chilean beer during big moments in the movies. You have to see it to believe it. It's actually kind of amazing. Check it out.
I have something here for you. Your father wanted you to have this when you were
Cerveza Cristal. Cerveza Cristal. Cerveza Cristal.
Crazy, right? This is real, by the way. And in fact, the ad agency who made those ads won the top award in the media category at that year's Cannes International Advertising Festival. The ads you just watched are award-winning ads. May the beer be with you.
Now, I'll be honest with you. If it was a film that was maybe a good 20 years old, where's my bloody cursor? If it was a film that was a good 20 years old, I would have no problem with them doing something like that, because you'd already probably seen it. You had 20 years to see that fucking movie, and now they've done that to it. You know, it's Star Wars, for fuck's sake. You know, of course everyone's seen it, and when
it's tongue in cheek.
Yeah, exactly. So I had no problem with that whatsoever, and I thought that was brilliant. You know, he goes, your father left this for you. And he opens up the fucking crate and there's fucking beers in there.
and
oh, God.
They even said in Spanish, may the beer be with you. He wasn't just saying that himself at the end. That was Spanish for that.
Yeah, that was just too good. So, yes, Rick B, that was a brilliant way to advertise the product. So, yeah. So yeah, really good. So we're almost at the 3-hour mark. We kind of prolonged this. Yeah, I did this for you guys because you joined us on the 11th hour or the 11th minute. But yeah, I'm done now. I have given you everything I could. Some of this stuff was for bollocks and banter, as you could tell, but I've thrown it all in here today. So enjoy it while you can now.
If we have bolts and buzzers tomorrow, God knows what we're going to talk about.
All figures on that. I mean, SmackDown's coming out tonight, so you could always. They need a Pulp Fiction and the briefcase filled with beer. Yeah, Pulp Fiction. Yeah, for sure. Night, guys. Yeah, thank you very much, Cousin Cheeto. So, all right, everyone. Thank you very much for joining this particular stream. I hope you had a lot of fun. As you can see, we talked about everything under the sun. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe to NerdTube, where you can have the gorgeous and lovely Christine, as well as the future Hall of Famer within the WWE, Gaz. And
thanks, guys.
With my various hairstyles. One more comment here. Back to the 3D problem on free body problem on Netflix. Have a great night, everyone. See you next time. Thank you very much, Daniel Vance. And we'll see you next time, because we're always back here at NerdTube, where there'll be some recordings. And then, by the way, I've quickly done my Coca-Cola lemon review. You check it out right now. I put that one out today, as well as other stuff. And you'll see us back in the future with other stuff too. There's always something here on NerdTube, the greatest YouTube channel you never heard of. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye. May the force be with you.
May the beer